And we're back.
We're back, guys. It's only been a week for you, but it's been 3-4 weeks for us.
I was going to say, it may not seem like it for you guys because you guys have been getting the weekly Thread Talk, but we took a little Christmas break there. It's been like 3 weeks since we've sat in these chairs.
I think so.
Whoa.
I'm happy to be back and excited to bring you the tea.
The Christmas tea. Who doesn't love good old Christmas? It's like the greatest time of the year.
We were not doing Christmas.
I know. I'm just talking about it because Christmas just happened for us. You don't want to talk about Christmas?
No,
You don't want to talk about the presents you got?
We will at the end of the episode. We'll give you lots of life updates, 3 weeks worth of life updates. But today we are doing stories that are not very demure. We originally had this episode titled Proper Etiquette, but I thought that was lame, so I changed it to Not Very Demure.
So, for clarification, I started this one, and I titled it Proper Etiquette. And then Teresa's like, no, we got to rename this as Not Very Demure.
Do you guys agree? Lame, right? Proper Etiquette? Who wants to listen to that?
And I was like, what the hell is demure?
I had to show him TikToks and kind of explain what demure meant. But.
Still didn't get it because demure is the definition of like a stoic person or something.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I'm sure most of our listeners know what it means. If not, look on TikTok.
Let's just get into it.
Let's go.
Just keep in mind, when you're listening to my stories, my thought process was proper etiquette.
Well, I had some for proper etiquette as well.
So, are you saying proper etiquette is a difference from demure?
I'm saying it's kind of similar.
Okay.
That's why I renamed it.
I'm confused.
Enough
over here,
babbling. Let's go.
You guys will still enjoy.
Who wants to go first? You? Me?
You can go first with your so demure.
Oh, okay. This one comes from Am I the Asshole? It's titled, Am I the asshole for calling out my boyfriend's family for changing the sleeping arrangement rules to favor his brother and sister-in-law? I, 24 female, and my boyfriend Nathan, 26 male, have been together for 6 years. This year, we traveled to his parents' house for Thanksgiving. For context, Nathan is one of 4 brothers. Alex, single. Jack, married to Jill. I wonder if that's
Jack
real.
and Jill. I'm sure she used a fake name, and I thought that was funny.
Nathan, me, and Luke, married to Millie, with a nearly 2-year-old. Everyone lives out of state except Luke and Millie. Nathan and I have the longest drive at 9 hours.
Goddamn.
Here's the issue. Nathan's parents, Mary and John, have only 2 guest bedrooms. 3 couples tend to visit at a time, meaning someone has to sleep on the air mattress in between the rooms. The first year I visited, I was told they rotate who gets the air mattress to keep it fair. But after 3 years on it, we were told it was now first come, first serve. Nathan's job doesn't allow much holiday time, so we're almost always last to arrive and stuck on the air mattress. While annoying, we understand. It seemed logical. This year was different. Nathan and I got Monday through Thursday off and would arrive first. I talked to Mary about how we would finally get a bedroom, and she laughed, saying, "Yep, first come, first serve." Millie, who I've grown close to, knew we were thrilled about the prospect of getting a bed this year. She even decided to come early too so we could hang out, and we planned that I'd take the twin room and she'd take the queen. Here's where it gets frustrating. The day we left, I texted Mary our ETA. A few hours later, Millie texted me saying Luke had spoken with Mary, who mentioned Jack and Jill would get the queen room and Luke and Millie the twin room, leaving Nathan and me on the air mattress again. Luke called Mary out, reminding her of the first come, first serve rule, but she suddenly claimed she never said that, and justified her decision because Jack and Jill would be staying an extra day. For context, Jack and Jill were arriving a day later than us, so this reasoning felt like an excuse. When we arrived, Nathan brought up the rule again, but Mary got defensive, claimed she didn't remember ever saying it, and refused to budge. I said several sarcastic comments as I felt this was really unfair. I pointed out rules are rules until they didn't serve Jill, and that we always do it a certain way until that means Jill has to take the air mattress, and she could come up with any justification, but that doesn't make it fair. I even pointed out it's silly for us to now have to board our dogs and drive 8 hours before anyone else got here just to change the rules now. She had plenty of time to bring this up with our many conversations leading up to this. She became increasingly sassy about the situation, leaving us feeling defeated and, frankly, a little targeted. Am I the asshole for speaking up over thinking Mary unfairly changed the rules to suit Jack and Jill, and that we're always stuck with the short end of the stick?
Call them out. Call them out in their biased bullshit. It's not very demure of them.
Not very demure.
Yeah, that's it's very rude. And at this point, I'd be like, okay, well, next year I'm just not coming.
Yeah.
Or I'm getting a hotel.
Why are the other siblings being favored?
I mean,
also, where is the husband in this?
Well, he said, what do you mean? Luke said that Luke called it out, and Luke said that's bullshit, and he called out and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Guys. I forget my own story.
You're getting lost in your own story.
It's just weird. Like, why is this happening?
Well, obviously, mommy's got favoritism, and it's showing heavily favoritism.
But, like, why? You know what I mean?
I would just be like, okay, so next year, do you not want me to come to Christmas? Because this is bullshit. Also, okay, they're not here the first night. So am I sleeping on that bed the first night, and then the second night I get kicked out to the air mattress? How about they sleep on the air mattress, and on their last day, when we leave, they can have their bed?
Exactly. It doesn't take much effort to change the sheets. Like, twice.
No.
They can make some sacrifices. They've been sleeping on the air mattress for 3 years. Also, shouldn't they think, like, as parents, they are kind of pushing this son and girlfriend away?
Like, do they not recognize that?
It's been 3 years that they've put up with the shit. Now onto the 4th year.
Right? I would just be like, I'm not showing up anymore.
They took the day off early. They boarded their dogs early so that they can get the bedroom.
Yeah.
So that's complete bullshit. Top comment. Info. What is Jack and Jill's position on this whole thing? Seems like unless they are refusing to take the air mattress, it becomes sort of a non-issue and Mary doesn't need to decide. Is she a conservative, quote, men and women shouldn't sleep together until they're married type? She seems like she wants the married couples to have their own rooms. Bottom line though, if this continues, I would just start staying in a hotel or not going. The whole thing seems like way more of a hassle than it's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
He replies, I didn't have enough room and ran out of characters to address this. It is what everyone has said in the family, not that I've heard it directly from them to be fair, that they won't come again at all if they have to take a turn on the air mattress. But that's speculation. They no longer show up for Christmas at all after the year all brothers showed up.
Huh?
So they're being sore losers. They're saying, I'm not coming if I'm sleeping on the air mattress.
Well, they should.
So that's why
They should also
say that. They should also say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And mommy needs to pick.
I'd fucking call Jack and be like, yo, why you being a little bitch?
It's only fair. Like, I don't know. Like, when we went to the cottage, we knew it was fair. Like, we got there last. We were like, okay, we got the couch. It's first come, first serve. That is usually how.
When did we go to the cottage?
A couple of years ago.
Like 5? Wait, oh, that cottage.
What are you talking about?
I'm like, which cottage are you talking about? I'm so confused.
Yes.
Yes, now I know what you're talking about. When we showed up last, we got the pull-out couch. God damn, did that wreck my back.
It did.
Yeah.
And it was right before Christmas.
But we didn't complain. We didn't say, oh, we're not coming unless you save a bed for us.
No, exactly. And it's not like you're paying. Like, I guess, like, if you're all paying a same amount and some people get a master bedroom with a washroom versus someone gets a couch, a pull-out couch. Like, I feel like there should be a difference in who pays more.
Yeah.
But you're going to a family's house.
Like,
it's only fair that you rotate.
Yeah. Obviously, mom is like, well, I want my son and my daughter-in-law to come, and I don't want to like leave them out. But realistically, as a parent, I feel like you have to kind of set the rule and be like, listen, you guys are rotating. First come, first serve. Like, you kind of bias the rules already for you for years. It's time to give it up 1 year. Next year, make sure you show up first if that's the rule that you want to set. And you have to rotate because your other kid's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to show up. I'd sleep on the mattress one more time. They've already done it 3 years. Almost now. Is this going to be 4 years in a row? So It's like, you got to treat your kids fairly.
Yeah. Another comment says, I'm confused by this, but Luke and Millie should always get their room with their child. Alex, who's single, can sleep on a couch or whatever. The other bedroom should switch off every year between the two couples. OP replies, I definitely agree with that statement about Luke and Millie, especially as he gets older. However, Luke and Millie made their own decision about their child having a sleepover with his grandma. Mary wants that as well to give them time to hang out with their brother at night, as well as the baby spending a few nights with Millie's mom, who lives 30 minutes away. To address the questions about Alex, he is not here and usually doesn't attend Thanksgiving. Okay, so the single son doesn't attend.
Well, you're pretty close to this couple not attending either.
And Luke and Millie don't even have their child. The child sleeps with the mom.
Uh-huh.
So you should be rotating amongst all three of you guys, is what I'm getting from this.
No, I just feel like as a parent, you have to be fair towards all your kids or you're going to build resentment. Jack and Jill say they're not going to show up unless they get the bed. Okay, what do you think the other people are going to do after you force them into it for 3 years? And then the one time where they're like, they made their plans around first come, first serve rules so they can get a bed. And now they're told, no, you still get the air mattress. They're going to be like, hey, fuck you guys. I'm not showing up next year.
Like, what did you expect was going to happen?
Yeah, you're going to sour somebody.
Not very proper etiquette of them. Not very demure of them.
You know those means two different things, right?
No,
you do know that, right?
Next.
Demure, reserved, modest, and shy. Typically used of a woman. A demure young lady. That's not the same thing as proper etiquette. So.
It sounds similar to me. In the context of the TikToks that I've watched, it sounds pretty similar.
What do you guys think?
Am I way off with this?
Let us know in the comments below. Should this episode have been properly the proper etiquette? Or should have been titled properly as the proper etiquette? Or should have been not very demure as is the current title? So you let us know who's right, who's wrong. Teresa or Denver. Once again, little competition in the comments. Let's go. Also, I got a fun fact for you.
Okay.
There are 358 days until Christmas.
Yay!
For all those people who have their Christmas trees up 358 days early, why?
We took ours down before New Year's. I can't stand to look at the Christmas tree after Christmas is over. It makes me sad and depressed.
Yep.
Okay, next.
All right. So this one's coming from, am I wrong? Am I wrong for thinking it's rude for a house guest to leave a toilet unflushed with the toilet seat up? My 28 female boyfriend, 28 male, had a friend come over to our house recently. Both times that the friend used the bathroom, I went in after him and noticed that he left the toilet seat up and left pee in the toilet, meaning he didn't bother to flush. So, of course, I had to put the seat down and flush the toilet before I used it. A few weeks went by and I casually mentioned it to my boyfriend. It was relevant to the conversation we were having. And he started arguing with me, saying that I have high expectations, and now he doesn't want to bring any of his friends over because now I think that they are quote-unquote rude. But it is rude. Mm-hmm. Leaving pee in a toilet for someone else to flush is rude in my opinion. If he did it once, I would assume it was an accident or something, but he did it twice. I don't know. I guess I have a pet peeve about other people respecting my space. I don't want to have to see your pee. And no, I'm not a germaphobe. Am I wrong for thinking this behavior from a house guest is rude? My boyfriend's argument is, quote, everyone's house has different rules, like taking off your shoes when you come in. My argument is that it's common sense to flush after you use the bathroom. If he was using the urinal, he would flush, right? So why leave pee in a friend's bathroom for them to deal with? I don't walk in a home with muddy shoes.
Exactly. You can do whatever the heck you want in your own home. I don't care. I'm not monitoring that. I'm not cleaning up after you in your own home. If you come into my home, it is, like she said, common sense to just have some proper etiquette and clean, just flush the damn toilet. It's not like you're trying to save water in someone else's home. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Is the reasoning because you want to save water and you don't want to flush every time? If you do that in your own home, fine.
If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
What the heck is that?
It's a saying that
No.
Yeah. So if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's pee, you don't flush. If it's brown, flush it down. If it's number 2, send the kids to
I'm
school.
sorry. Are you defending this guy?
You've never heard that expression?
Never.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I grew up with it. My grandpa used to do this in his house. I don't know if he ever did it at anybody else's house, but like I would walk into the bathroom and it'd be yellow and be like, fuck me. And I'd have to flush it and
That's
stuff.
disgusting.
What do you find more rude? The fact that the toilet seat was up or that there was pee not flushed?
The pee.
I feel like it's like
both.
51-49 to me.
Yes, me too.
Like it's a pet peeve of mine. Like if somebody comes over and they don't close the toilet seat lid, I don't like that.
They're not even talking about the toilet seat lid.
I know. No,
Okay.
they're talking about the lid, not the toilet seat. Sorry, the toilet lid. Because there's the seat.
Are they
and the
talking
lid.
about the lid?
They're
I don't
talking
think
about both.
so.
She left the toilet. Oh, the seat.
The
up.
seat.
That's even worse. Like,
Babe, most people don't put the lid down.
see, that's a pet peeve for me.
Okay.
I was raised you put the lid down. But yeah, if you leave the toilet seat up and there's pee in it, I'm like extra grossed out because that means that you stood while you peed. And now I gotta fucking clean up your pee on the side of your bowl or on the floor by the toilet because
Disgusting.
it misses. A great amount of times you're gonna miss a little bit of the first bit of the stream. So
Ew.
it grosses
Okay, we
me
need
out.
to stop talking about this. We already talked about pee and stuff.
We did.
Last couple episodes ago.
Okay. So let's just agree that it's very rude and you are allowed to call him out. And if your boyfriend's on that side,
Yeah.
I
would be reconsidering this relationship, honestly. You
you
think I'm not gonna bring my friends over because you think they're rude. They are rude.
they are. Don't bring your friends over.
Yes. I'm calling a cat a cat. What's the saying?
I have no idea.
I'm calling
A spade a spade?
a spade a spade.
Okay. So if your boyfriend or partner can't have a conversation with you and can't accept that you find something gross and that's the way that you want things to be done in your house and you can't find any middle ground, there's no communication there, that's the bigger red flag than his gross ass friend.
Yes. There's a fundamental issue then with your relationship.
Like if in our relationship in the beginning and I mentioned like, hey, because I had to ask you when we first started dating, can you please close the toilet seat lid when you're done using the bathroom?
Yeah.
And you never did that. If we got into that and you're like, well, there's nothing wrong with it. Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
That would have been an issue.
My biggest annoyance with stories like these are it takes half a second to do that extra step. It's not a big ask to be like, hey, can you do this?
Yeah. I don't care who my friend was. If the toilet seat was up and it was flushed, I would still call them out.
Yeah. It's just the fact that they feel called out and they feel like you're attacking them and their character and you think they're rude or whatever.
No, I just think your parents raised you wrong.
Yeah. And it's okay to be wrong. Just, I don't know, fix it. We don't all have to agree that you have to flush after you, whatever. Yes, we have those opinions, but in someone else's home,
Exactly.
have some respect.
If you don't want to do that in your home, if you want to save your water bill, that's fine. But when you come to my home, this is a rule. Please take your shoes off when you come in.
Yes.
Don't throw snowballs inside the house and flush the damn toilet. There you go. Those are the house rules. Don't leave your dirty dish on the table, bring it into the kitchen, put it into the sink, put it into the dishwasher. You know what I mean? There's some simple house rules of your do's and your don'ts, and you got to respect that when you go to a guest hotel.
Yeah. The snowball comment is it's going to make people think that we actually live in Ingles, Canada.
Nobody actually thinks that.
I know, I'm just joking. Haha.
Top comment, to put it bluntly, I live like a pig. And even I would be annoyed by a guest doing this. It is so gross. You are right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Everybody has different standards, but
if we had guests over and I came to our bathroom and I discovered this, immediately I'd call them out. Friendsgiving.
yeah.
Any one of them did that, I would come into the bathroom. I would be like, I would shame them. I would be like, who the frig, who did this?
I feel like it's different with our toilet because you got to hold it down to flush.
No. Our toilet,
It has some issues.
our toilet does have some issues. like every single time I come to the toilet, there's always like a little bit of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Because either you or me won't hold it for like enough, and like the last little bit of toilet paper will kind of like rise back up. But there's a difference between the whole bowl being yellow,
yes,
and one little piece of toilet paper kind of rising back up.
Yeah,
there's a difference. So I'm the type of person I would call you out for.
Okay, like calling it out after more than once, because
okay, that's fair.
The first time, like, it could be an accident. Like, we've done it.
That's fair.
We've both done it.
Where we're like, yeah. How many times have you gone to the toilet and the kids are still sitting in there? They didn't get sent off to school yet. They're still loaded up in the bus.
Not me.
Nah, you've done it.
Mr. Denver over here. We need to stop. We need to change the subject.
Yes, please. Let's move on.
Probably grossed out by us.
There is an edit to add. For anyone saying a lot of houses don't flush just when it's pee, so maybe he just assumed if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. I hadn't read that yet. That saying was from my childhood. But why assume that? You don't assume that in a public restroom. We never told him that. It's best to flush if you don't know the house rules. Why would you leave pee in a toilet, assuming your house rules apply at a guest house? That makes no sense. We also live in an eco-friendly, smart home with a water-saving toilet, so there's no reason he needed to save water for us.
Yeah. There's no defending this guy.
Do you know what this reminds me of? The houses that you can't flush your toilet paper. And there's like when we were in Barcelona, I think it was, and there's like a little sign in the bathroom that says, do not flush your toilet paper, put in the garbage.
I think it is quite
more common because of how old their plumbing systems are. Yeah. But yeah, I just find that. Is that worse, having to put your used toilet paper in a bin beside the toilet, or like the yellow still being there?
I feel like it's different because you can't, like, there's no choice when it comes to like the European toilets, the plumbing systems. Like, it's not like it's your choice. This guy is being blatantly disrespectful.
Yeah. Once is your mulligan. You get one.
Mulligan.
Once is forgiveness. You know, your forgiveness.
Okay.
You know, you get forgiven.
Never heard of that. Okay. Learning stuff today.
Oh my. Twice is a pattern. And you're getting fucking shamed, bro. You're lucky I didn't make a Twitter post about it,
Okay.
Didn't tag you in it.
Okay. You don't even have Twitter, bro.
Somebody came over to my house today and this is what happened. Bro, I feel like instead of Reddit, people should take their grievances to like Twitter or something like that. Or like Instagram.
I used to subtweet a hell of a lot.
And be like, yo, this person came over to my house and look what he left. Picture of the pee in the toilet. You know, does he deserve to be public shamed or not? Yeah. You guys decide. That'd be a cool trend.
All right. Let's move on.
Yes, back to you.
So it comes.
No more pee stories, please.
Yeah. I don't think I have any.
That's our limit for the episode.
I agree.
We're going to blanket ThreadTalk rule in the future. One pee or poop story per episode.
Okay. Max. Not that there's going to be a pee or poop story every episode.
No. Yeah, just max. Like if we're going through the episode and I come up with a pee and poop story, boom, you better save yours for Patreon. You've got to be like, darn it, I don't get to say mine anymore.
Okay. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that her friend is too ugly for my friend?
Yes.
I've 29 male, been with my girlfriend, 28 female, for the past 8 months, and it has been amazing. I've met her friends, and I really like them all, and she's met my friends, and they all get along great. We are all hanging out together for the first time this weekend. The issue is that my girlfriend told one of her friends, let's call her Sue, that she thinks she would be perfect for one of my friends, let's call him Mike. She has told her this multiple times, shown her pictures of him, and gotten her all excited. My problem with this is that I don't think that they are a good match at all. Mike is a very good-looking guy, in great shape, is 6'2", and is a lawyer. He has always dated very conventionally attractive women. Sue is great, and I really like her, but she is just not very conventionally attractive. She is overweight and just doesn't put much effort into her appearance in general. My girlfriend has mentioned this potential match to me a few times, and I've always just kind of brushed it off with a, we'll see, or you never know, hoping it would just fizzle out. But after we made plans to all hang out, and after I found out she has been telling Sue about it, I felt like I had to say something to her. I didn't want Sue to get her feelings hurt, and I didn't want to put Mike in an awkward situation. I told my girlfriend I think she should not try to set them up together, and to just leave it alone, and if something happens between them, great, but not to push it. When she asked why, I said, I just don't think they are a compatible match look-wise, and that I think Sue would get her feelings hurt. I said I don't think they're a great match personality-wise either, since he is super active and she is much more of a homebody. This caused a big fight, our first real fight, where she accused me of thinking my friends were better than her friends, asking who else I thought was quote-unquote ugly, etc. I was genuinely just trying to avoid an awkward situation, but I might have just made it worse. Should I have just kept my mouth shut and let it happen?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Because I feel like he was like 90% on track with what he was saying.
Yes.
Just at the very end, he kind of said it a little bit wrong.
He said it rudely.
A little bit. No, he actually said it politely, but she saw through the politeness and made her own assumption. There's no right way to say this, so he should have avoided that last bit at all. Like, he told that they are not attractive look-wise. He should have left that out.
Yeah.
He should, if he was going to say anything, he should have just stuck with the personality one. Never mention looks or anything. Be like, he's a very active guy. He likes hiking. He likes running. He likes bicycling. All he does is these things. And your friend is more of a homebody. You could have said that. I feel like even then you're pushing it.
I think so too.
Even then, you...
Because people can have different hobbies and still be a match.
Exactly.
He's insinuating something else there.
You're insinuating. So you kind of got caught in your last two lines there. I feel like you do have an obligation to, or I feel like, yes, you should slow your girlfriend's roll down in a sense. Like, she shouldn't be playing matchmaker.
Yes.
Like, I feel like you have rights to defend your friend from potentially getting set up with someone that you believe that he wouldn't be interested in. And like you said, just let it happen. Let it happen. On the flip side, also, you don't know what your friend 100% is into. He might line up with her personality because opposites attract. An active person doesn't always want a very active person in the relationship.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a tough thing to balance here. I feel like, yes, you're in the right of like, don't play matchmaker. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Just let it happen. If they're hanging out together, an attraction will happen.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be hyping up my friend to your friend so much. But at the same time, like, there's nothing wrong with, is there anything wrong with like her mentioning it beforehand? Being like, hey, I know he's single.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot, girl. I don't think there's anything wrong.
I think like she shouldn't be getting her friends' hopes up.
So hyped up.
Yeah. I think the issue is like, she's really hyping it up and she's making it seem like they are a good match, and she should have went to her boyfriend first. I think
the only time that you should be hyping it up is if
they're
interested. Yeah. Like if the friend had come to the boyfriend and be like, hey, what was that girl's name last time we hung out and stuff?
Yeah.
And then you ask your girlfriend, and then your girlfriend kind of hypes it up, or your girlfriend's friend sees it and so then you let your guy know, like, hey,
Yeah.
That's when. But I don't think you should be like so hyping it up before they've ever matched. It's more like let what happens happen.
Exactly.
And as far as the argument goes, like, yeah, dude, just don't say that, like, why you don't think there'll be a match. Just stay on. Even if you don't think they're a match, that's fine. Don't ever say it.
Because his reasons are pretty shallow. Like, he mentioned, like, the looks. He's 6'12". He's a lawyer. He's into conventionally attractive women. Like, he's in great shape.
He's explained to us his shallow biasness.
Yes.
But then when he says it to his girlfriend, he didn't say what he's saying to us, but she saw through it.
Yeah.
So he got called out.
Yeah.
So if you're going to, just stay on the fact that, hey, I don't think you should play matchmaker. Let him decide after they hang out and stuff like that. If he mentions anything, then we can go from there. But I don't think you should be setting your friend up when we have no idea what his response is. Maybe he's seeing someone and he hasn't told us yet. So I feel like you could, even if you are biased, whatever, just, you don't need to say it. Don't let it show, and just stay on the fact that nobody should play matchmaker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Top comment: everyone sucks here. Quoting OP, I told my girlfriend I think she should not try to set them up together and to just leave it alone. And if something happens between them, great, but not to push it. When she asked why, I said I just don't think that they are a comparable match. And that is where you should have ended that final statement.
Yeah.
That was more than enough said.
Exactly. Even if she doesn't listen to you, you've said your piece. The most that you can do is, let your friend know, like, hey, my girlfriend has been hyping you up to one of her friends.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to give him a little bit of a warning, so he might understand why there's like hard affections, coming on around the hangout. She's always trying to sit near him or something like that. You know, I don't know, but yeah, I feel like that's the most that you say.
Yep. Another comment says, everyone sucks here. No one should be setting anyone up. Your girlfriend needs to stop interfering. It's not necessary for you to police whom he might find attractive either. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, everyone does suck here.
Yeah.
Everyone does suck here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Ba-boom.
Boop.
Moving on. This one's coming from, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not telling my wife prior to lunch with family that I was paying? My wife and I, along with a mother and aunt, went out to lunch today. The previous day, my wife and I had agreed we should try to pay for our own share of the bill rather than having my mother or aunt get it. Last night, around 11 p.m., after my wife had gone to sleep, I had a conversation with my mother that I would grab the check rather than mess around and fight over the bill. I did forget to mention this to my wife. I work overnights and had just started my shift, and by the end of the shift, I had forgotten. So anyway, at lunch today, when the check came, they asked if we were wanting separate checks or all in one. I responded, all in one is fine. Then my wife said she had thought we were getting our own. I said we could just get it. This maybe happened over 2 or 3 seconds and I didn't think much of it. After lunch, she was mad because I put her in a position where she said she came off very inconsiderate with her comment about getting her own checks, and thus others would be paying their own. I assured her no one thought that and it was not a big deal, but she was still angry that I had put her in that position, and she would have never said anything if I had told her prior to lunch. I apologized for not letting her know in advance, as I never want to hurt my wife's feelings, but I maintain that it wasn't a big deal. No one thought that she was being inconsiderate at all. It's not about the money at all. Everyone at the table could easily afford treating everyone else. She is mad about the position that I put her in. I really don't think this is a big deal. The whole interaction was 3 seconds tops, and no one thought anything of it. So, am I the asshole?
I feel like this is something that we would argue over. I feel like this is something you would do, and this is something I would get upset over.
I am offended.
Not to call you out.
I am offended.
But it also is kind of like a minor issue. Like,
yes.
It's not a big deal, but for me, like, I understand where she's coming from, because I would 100% be overthinking that.
Yeah.
And I would be like, well, now they think that
I'm rude.
I didn't
want to pay for their meal.
Exactly. So I completely understand where she's coming from, and I also kind of understand where he's coming from, where like he probably didn't think to tell her about it. Like, I know they had a prior conversation about like getting their own bills and stuff, but I don't know, you had a conversation with your mom and you just said, like, I'll grab the bill beforehand. It may have slipped his mind. Like, I can forgive him, but like, she still has a right to be mad, I feel.
Do you think, though, that if we are in this situation and I say, hey, don't worry, we're going to cover it, are you really going to sit there and say, oh, I thought we were splitting? Or are you staying quiet?
I would,
and then after
give you daggers. I would be like,
or just let it go, and then after, and we're in the car driving back, and be like, hey, I thought we were splitting the bill. What happened?
Yeah.
Because that's how I see it going down. If we had previously talked about splitting the bill so that they didn't pay for us and we wanted to pay for ourselves, and then at the restaurant, you're like, oh, no, I'll get it. No worries. Like, one bill's so much easier.
Yeah.
I'll get it. Don't worry. I'm not piping up, being like, oh, I thought we were splitting it. I'm staying silent. And then in the car ride home, I'm being like, hey, do you really think we should have paid for it? Like, we're not in a position to pay for it. We do this often. I like to believe in, like, I'll get it this time, they'll get it next time. Like, you know, kind of rotate through whatever the meals are. One check's easier for the waiter. Like, I don't mind picking it up if we go with somebody. I feel like we've been picking up the bill a lot lately. We gotta let the other people pick it up. But, like, I'm not mentioning it. I'm not saying. And I feel like you're not saying, oh, I thought we were splitting this.
Yeah, I also wouldn't say that.
So this one was voted, he's the asshole. But honestly, I kind of feel like she's a little bit of an asshole. I feel like this is more of an everyone sucks here.
At first I was thinking like no assholes here. But I do feel like, yeah, everyone sucks a little bit. Like,
why'd you have to say it?
Yeah, she didn't really have to say it.
Maybe she was just like caught off guard and surprised
Yeah, like maybe it was just a reaction.
and didn't mean to. It kind
Yeah.
of like slipped out.
Yeah.
But she doesn't mention anywhere here like it just slipped out and I regret saying it. I wish I didn't say it. She just is more on him for, hey, we said that we were splitting it. But yeah, so I don't know. Everything is like very soft.
Yeah.
Like if he is the asshole, I can kind of see that.
I can see that because like
He said one thing and then he changed the plan.
yeah, without
changed
informing the wife.
Exactly. A little bit of pre-communication. But it's something like it's so minor
Yeah.
that like shouldn't be rotting in hell because he like changed his mind. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can understand how she can feel kind of slighted a little bit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, soft you're the asshole, but also like I couldn't imagine saying that.
Yeah.
If you were picking up the bill, like we went to dinner with your family or like with Anjanelli.
Yeah, and then you said
and you know, I said, you know, we'll pick up the bill and you're like, oh, I thought we were splitting it.
no, that would be like me saying let's pick up the bill.
Or
Okay.
the other way.
No. This is his family.
Yeah, okay. So you saying we'll pick up the bill and then I'm like, oh, I thought we were splitting it.
Yeah.
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 Do you think there's a portion where like if it was your family with Anjanelio and you were like, hey, I'm going to pick up the bill and I'm like over here, oh, I thought we were splitting it. Even the conversation we had last night, do you think there's still a bit where you could be slightly mad at me? Because you're like, hey, I decided that I wanted to cover it. And now you've made me look bad in front of my family.
Like a little bit.
A little bit. A little bit less because last night they literally had the conversation about it. If they hadn't had any conversation about it, I feel like that'd be even worse. Be like, you kind of embarrassed me. Like I wanted to pick it up in front of my family and now like they think why we should be splitting it and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a tough one. It's a tough social dynamic. What do you do?
It is tough because they also mentioned like money is not the issue here.
Money's not an issue. Everybody is set. Everybody can comfortably cover the bill. This sounds to me like they should be kind of just rotating it.
Yeah.
Just don't worry, guys. You get it next time.
Yeah.
And then the next time you go out, you try and pick up the bill again. And if they just let you, and they're not like, oh no, you got it last time, I'll get it this time. Then you're like, next time, we're just splitting the bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'll read the top comment. Top comment. Okay, so you just happened to talk to your mother and change the thing agreed to with your wife, and then, like, you just forgot to mention it to her until you were all around the table? Right. Soft, you're the asshole for agreeing to something with your wife and then letting your mother convince you to do otherwise. Be an adult, keep your word.
I kind of agree with that. Like, do you think it's unreasonable just to, like, lean over and be like, hey, let's just cover the bill. Don't worry about the splitting. I'm just going to cover the bill.
If it was a money issue, like if the wife's reasoning was because they are low on funds, then I would be even more upset. But because money isn't an issue here, like I feel like it changes the
dynamic.
Circumstances.
100% that changes the dynamic.
So
but I feel like we have to, money's not an issue, but we had a conversation last night. It's like, this is what the wife thinks the game plan is. Now, if you 100% forgot that conversation last night, then yeah, you are technically the asshole. It's very soft. You're the asshole because it's not a big issue. But when do you remember that you had that conversation?
Right.
Do you think like you went to pay for the whole bill and you completely forgot that you're going to?
Like, was it intentional that you left it out, or did you completely did it go right over your head and you forgot to tell your wife? Like,
if you 100% forgot that you even had the conversation about splitting the bill, we can give you some forgiveness. If you remembered at some point before and you just decide not to say anything, you're
an asshole.
Yeah, because you could have been like, "Hey, babe,
yeah,
we're gonna cover this bill. Don't worry about splitting it. I'm just gonna get one bill.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the one bill." You know what I mean? You could kind of like text.
But also, even that though, you're not allowing her input. You're just telling her what's happening.
Yeah.
After you've had a conversation about it together.
Exactly. That's true too. And then she could still yell at you in the car. Low key.
But after the damage is done, I don't know. It would change my perspective if money was an issue though. But it's not, so.
It's not.
I feel like this is an entire non-issue. Like, I get where both of them are. I get where she's coming from more.
I get where she's coming from.
Yeah.
She feels slighted because she embarrassed herself.
Yeah.
But she didn't need to do that. Kind of.
Yes. Okay, let's just
Keep your mouth shut. Stay quiet. Stay in the corner. Stay in the shadows.
Okay.
I'll get back to you.
Alrighty.
I feel like I waffled so hard in that last one. Waffle.
You waffled?
You never heard that?
What are you saying this episode?
When you don't have like a clear opinion and you're waffling, you're like, I'm over here, then I'm over here, and you're back and forth.
Like
you're
a flip-flop?
You're waffling.
I've never heard a waffle.
Waffle. I feel like I've said it before.
Okay. Am I the asshole for snapping at my friend about her concerns for our working cats?
Working cats?
Is this something you can relate to?
Maybe.
I, 21 female, live with my grandparents. They own a lot of land and a lot of animals.
Oh, this is not where I thought this was going. I thought they
like influencer cats?
No, like you know the cat from like Home Depot. Like there's just a cat that the store supports, and they keep them like there's a couple Home Depots that like they have like a Home Depot cat, and they give him a bed and they feed him the kitty litter. He was like a stray cat that came into the store one day, so they just made the store his home.
Okay.
This is like it's a farm, and the cats are there to catch mice.
Well, this is why I said you could relate to it. Do you own a Home Depot?
No, but those are the videos I've seen. When I grew up, like I grew up on a horse farm with cats, but
yeah,
I was never told like our cats are there to eat the mice.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
We had them as pets. The mice was just like
really
dessert for
I thought
them.
They were like barn cats.
No, they were just inside outdoor cats.
Okay,
these would be like a barn cat that like is not allowed in your house. You just keep them in the barn to be working, and you don't care to pet them. They're just there to let their nails stay sharp and let them be a predator.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you had those.
Not domestic. No, we domesticated them.
Okay.
The chasing them, that was all fun games for them.
Got it. I, 21 female, live with my grandparents. They own a lot of land and a lot of animals. My grandparents also have multiple working cats. These cats have many important roles on the farm, and we take excellent care of them. They're vaccinated, chipped, well-fed, have shelter, and get medical attention when needed. But they are not house pets. They're not used to being overly pampered. We also welcomed a new addition to the family, Lucy, a scrappy, older, feral cat. She is one of the only cats we've gotten as an older kitty, and while she's not super into human contact, she's made friends with some other cats and is thriving. Recently, my friend Jane, 22 female, came to visit. She's a huge animal lover. The moment she arrived, she was super excited to see all the animals on the farm. This is her first time visiting since I moved. She loved all the animals, but when we got to the barn cats, things got a little weird. She immediately tried to approach them, calling them over like she would a house cat. Most of our barn cats just ignored her. They're busy doing their own thing. But Lucy, the feral cat, was nearby. Jane spotted her and got really excited, saying how cute Lucy was and how she must need extra love because she looks rough. I told Jane that Lucy's a feral cat who's adjusted well to life on the farm but isn't comfortable with people getting too close. I explained that Lucy's thriving in her own way. Jane didn't seem convinced and said something like, "Isn't it sad that she's not loved on? She looks like she needs it." I explained again that love for a working cat doesn't mean constant physical affection. The cats are happy and safe, which is what matters most. Jane still seemed uncomfortable and kept bringing it up throughout her visit, saying we need to try harder to socialize Lucy. At one point, Jane got frustrated and said, "I just don't get why you wouldn't want her to feel like a pet. It's like you're giving up on her." That really upset me, and I said that we've done a lot to help Lucy feel safe and cared for. Jane responded, "It just seems cruel that you wouldn't let the cats into the house at night either. I would never let my cat stay out all night." I explained that's when the cats do the most work at night, and they have heated pads and hay to sleep on, as well as food and water. She didn't seem convinced. I told her bluntly that she doesn't understand what it takes to care for working animals, and her insistence on treating them like house pets was disrespectful. Jane got quiet after that and didn't say much for the rest of the visit. Later, she texted me saying she felt upset. She said that she was just trying to help and thought I was being defensive. I understand that animal welfare is super important to a lot of people, and I can understand why Jane would have concerns initially, but she seems dead set on undermining my experience with working cats. Am I the asshole for snapping at her?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think you're the asshole for snapping at her. I think you're right, but if you got to be able to, you got to check yourself, dude. Understand that this is a city slicker that you're dealing with, and they're not going to have the understanding and comprehension of working cats and a working farm. So there's really no excuse for you to be snapping at somebody. You can just keep reiterating the same thing. Just keep saying the same thing. But like, there's no reason to snap.
I feel like you would get defensive though when your moral, your morality is being questioned.
Yeah, I can understand that, but you are still in control of your own emotions. And if you snapped, then you snapped. I feel like you could say the same words without, and just have the understanding that when you say it, you are talking to somebody who doesn't understand. She doesn't have the comprehension of a farm.
But OP didn't say anything wrong. Like, she wasn't being rude. She was just saying it as it is. Like,
but apparently, she knows what her tone was, and she's asking, am I the asshole for snapping? So she knows that the way that she said it was rude. And she's looking for justification of the way she said it. You are 100% justified in everything that you said. Your deliverance of it was clearly what offended your friend. But like, it's like the definition of insanity, trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You're trying to explain to a city slicker who has personal house cats that these are working cats, and that's not something that she understands. So you're kind of like beating your head against the wall trying to explain that, like, the cats are happy. These are actually what cats prefer to do. If you gave like an actual cat wants to hunt, they are predators. They're little mini lions. They're ferocious. Their nails are meant to get really sharp. Their teeth are meant to bite into a mouse and eat it. That's what it's meant to do. And we have domesticated them and put them in our little tiny condos and stuff. And yeah, they're cute. And yeah, they love our pets and stuff for those domesticated ones. But like the actual cat, that's not what they're actually supposed to do. Yeah, you know, like they're meant to be working cats. So I don't know. I just think that, yeah, you're the asshole for the way that you treated your friend. Just because they don't understand something doesn't mean that you need to get rude with them when you're trying to explain it. You need to have the understanding that, hey, they're not going to understand where you're coming from. They have a different base opinion.
Yes, but I think the friend was being rude first. She 100%. Was saying, it feels like you're giving up on her. That is attacking someone.
Agreed.
That's insinuating that they're not taking care of their pets. Like that. And yeah, you would get defensive saying that. You don't understand this.
I think there's nothing wrong with explaining that, but it seems like OP is, am I the asshole for snapping at her? So obviously it was his deliverance.
It's her.
Sorry. It was her deliverance of the message that she feels guilty for.
I don't think so. I think you're taking it
I could be wrong.
Context.
It could be.
Top comment. Not the asshole. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. Strays can be, in some cases, made into pets because they are used to and want to socialize with humans. Feral cats simply don't. If you take them into a house, they will feel trapped, stressed, and can be a danger to humans and to themselves. Often, feral cats are so stressed out and nervous in a closed environment that they will kill themselves trying to escape. Mm-hmm. What the heck?
No, they will. Have you not seen the videos of the cats where they'll jump on everything? They'll be looking for any escape hole, and they'll end up hurting themselves because they're like wrecking everything around them. They don't even know what they're running into. They're just so stressed.
And you have to respect that. The best option for those cats is precisely live as barn cats. They will have food, shelter, veterinary care, and enough freedom to feel okay and thrive. And they will help the farm to get rid of pests. Barn cats are not pets, and most of them wouldn't feel fine as one. If cats are not socialized since they are little kittens, it's very difficult for them to trust humans and being near us. I take care of a TNR colony established in my garden. Some of them are so used to me by now that they come when they see me, and most of the time they allow me to pet them and still feel terrified if sometimes I take them inside the house. Some of them don't run away from me, but they don't allow me to touch them most of the time. Some others simply run away if I came too close to them. Cats are not born socialized. They are not born pets. You have to work hard to make pets of them by socializing them, and sometimes even that doesn't work.
Yeah, so like I don't think you're the asshole for saying what you said, but if you're like, am I the asshole for snapping at her? I think if you truly did snap, That's where you would be the asshole in your reaction. Not because you pointed at the fact that they're not farm animals. I don't know.
I think you're taking it as like she yelled at her.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking at. If she didn't yell at her, would the question be, am I the asshole for explaining to my friends that farm cats are not house cats? But she's like, am I the asshole for snapping? So it seems like did she not yell at her when she got fed up that her answers weren't getting through to her?
I don't know.
So
I don't think so. But I don't think it really changes anything for me.
For me, it's just like your deliverance is what would make you the asshole, not the actual stating facts.
Okay.
So
okay.
Don't burn me at the stake.
Next.
Okay. You want to get some farm cats?
No.
No, Teresa couldn't handle it.
I couldn't handle it.
Those are the cats that you'd be scared of. Those are the cats.
That's not what I'm talking about. I couldn't handle leaving them out in the cold.
Oh. Well, we wouldn't leave them out in the cold. If I was to have a farm cat, I would have like a whole cat house built.
I wouldn't even want them outside. I would be scared that a coyote's going to get them. Like
they'd knock Coyote right out. They would team up on them, 10 cats and one coyote.
No. I wouldn't want any outdoor cat.
Yeah, that makes sense. Working cats. Old Jerry. Gonna kill all the Toms out there. Okay, back to me.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for crying when my boyfriend let his best friend's wife alter the dish I made for dinner? My boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 22 female, met at work 2 years ago. Technically, I was working part-time during undergrad and he was a customer, but after a couple of months, we started going out. I really love this man, and nothing has happened on this scale before, so I'm very confused about it. My boyfriend has a very tight group of friends. I am well acquainted with them and their girlfriends. One of them, Dave, just married to Ellie. Ellie is an excellent cook and often hosts dinners, and everyone brings a dessert to those dinners. I'm the youngest in the group, so most times they brush off my request for contributing or bringing in a dessert. However, the last time I asked Dave and Ellie if they wanted anything extra like wine or some sweet dish for dinner. They said I could bring one of those sweet dishes I make for my boyfriend. I'm Indian, and even though I can't cook as well as my mom, and as well in a different country for studies, I called my mom up and had her teach me properly how to make a specific Bengali sweet, which is my favorite. I had my friends taste it and they said it was great. My boyfriend ate some and said it was excellent. Except, last night I greeted Ellie and kept the dish in the kitchen. When the food was brought out and my boyfriend told everyone I made it, I saw that someone had added cinnamon powder to the sweet. You never have the sweet with cinnamon powder. The dessert tasted like cinnamon and I felt horrible, though everyone said thank you and it was good. I think my face gave it away, and my boyfriend took me aside and said that Ellie had told him that my sweet looked too white and thought some cinnamon might bring some color to it. I don't know, I just feel awful and I started to tear up. My boyfriend then defended Ellie and said that his friends already think him a child and not to make a big deal of this, and we will talk about it. I told him Ellie asked him first. Couldn't he have told her not to add cinnamon to the sweet? He told me he didn't think it was a big deal and asked me to drop the topic on the way home. I didn't text him goodnight, and this morning he said he was sorry and said my crying made him feel like an awful person.
Good.
I don't know. Now I think I'm overreacting. Am I the asshole?
No, your boyfriend's an asshole. Your boyfriend's triggering me, actually.
Yeah. I mean, Ellie was like soft asshole, but your boyfriend is the big asshole.
Just the way he's talking to her.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
making me really upset.
My friends already think you're a child.
Yeah,
like,
just don't cry.
What? Fuck you.
No. There's a power dynamic here that's going on. They're 6 years apart. And granted, I mean, we're 5 years apart. But I feel like he's abusing it a little bit. Like, he's making it seem like he's more mature. His friends are more mature. You're a child.
Yeah. Because someone altered your dish, that makes me a child.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for being emotional about it. Like, sometimes, like, I cry when I'm upset. I'm 26. I freaking cry. I've always been like this. I cry when I'm mad. I don't know how to control it. It's literally just the way I am. And some people are like that as well. And yes, you're not a baby for crying about it. Like, you are hurt. You're upset. Like, that's just how you feel your emotions. And
Sorry,
you
I
shouldn't be
have
ashamed
emotions. Yeah, exactly.
for that.
Top comment. Boyfriend saying, everyone thinks you're a child. And him saying, we'll talk about this later, is him telling you he thinks you're a child.
Yes.
Girl, tell him you're tired of hanging out with judgmental old farts and you're going to find people younger and cooler to be with. Please don't think this guy hung the moon.
100%.
Yeah, so update. Ellie saw the post. My boyfriend texted me to see if it was me, and I said yes. He said we needed to talk. For safety purposes, my best friend will be there. I don't know. I never expected my post to blow up. Post has 22,000 upvotes and was posted 3 months ago.
Oh my God, is there an update?
There is an update. He said he needed space from their relationship. I think with the way this post blew up and what happened because of a post, I should clear some things up. I never asked if I should leave my boyfriend for this. I asked if this was an overreaction, my crying. But having thousands of people telling me this was racially charged, Ellie wanted power, my boyfriend is shitty, etc., my brain went haywire. Boyfriend called yesterday, and when I got there to his house with my best friend, Dave and Ellie were there. Ellie was crying, and Dave looked really pissed at me. My boyfriend told me to sit down, and Dave started with how could I make a post that most of the people in the dinner party wouldn't recognize and know, and how could I shame Ellie and my boyfriend? My boyfriend was silent and wouldn't even look at me and was only shaking his head. It felt like I was a kid being scolded by my parents with my elder sibling disappointed in my actions. That is what I felt and what it looked like. I admit, it was very spineless of me. But Dave went on for like a minute, and I was just looking at my boyfriend, waiting for him to defend me. I asked Ellie, why would she alter my dish, after telling me to bring an Indian dish? She says she thought Indian food would be brown. This woman has more Indian friends than me, and she thinks Indian food is brown. She grew up in the UK, for fuck's sakes, and I felt so defeated. The comments, my friends, and people around me telling me his friends come first to him, not me. He said he didn't think the sweet was a big deal. I told him I would never let my friend alter something he spent 3 days learning to make, getting people to taste it, and got his mom involved too. He saw I put a lot of effort into it, so why would he let her alter it? Why wouldn't he ask me? Ellie started to cry and say that she wasn't being racist and she wouldn't know that I put effort into it and now she couldn't host dinners again. I said I used fake names, so why does it matter? Unless she and Dave went around telling people. Boyfriend told me he didn't expect this from me. My best friend piped up that he expected my boyfriend would have a fucking spine, so I guess they were both disappointed. My, now ex-boyfriend, told me in front of Dave and Ellie that he needed some space. I told him to get lost. I don't know what my best friend said to him after that, considering I left my boyfriend's flat. I kind of tripped into the metro station, so now I'm crying on my best friend's couch with an ice pack while his boyfriend keeps giving me peach snaps and my relationship has toppled over. I wouldn't have stormed out had he looked at me once. He just looked 100% on Dave and Ellie's side and acted like I was the one with the problem when she caused me hurt. If his friends come first when they cause me hurt, where would I have been if I decided to marry this man? My friends are good to me and are acting like I'm some fragile glass. I even heard my best friend and his brother whispering loudly from the kitchen and his elder brother wanting to threaten him via Instagram DMs. I hate that this has come to this, considering I have always been the mom friend to my friend group. I'm drunk while writing this, so have some grace in the comments. Also, if you'll be an incel like those people in my DMs telling me I'll never keep a man if I'm this dramatic, please go away. I just thought I needed to update. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Wow, this is crazy. At least he showed you who he was, and you didn't waste any more time on this guy.
Right.
Also, Ellie's a piece of shit.
Ellie being like, I'm not racist, but I thought all Indian food was going to be brown.
Exactly. And then playing the victim, crying like, I can't host dinner parties anymore.
Right?
Fuck, cry me a fucking river.
It's not even your real name, bro. Like, exactly. If he's on the, he's not on your side. Like, your boyfriend should be on your side. Like, come on. This is gross.
I hope this gets more traction now that we're reading it.
I'm glad she took her best friend with her.
Yeah.
Because it was like a 3-on-1 confrontation to like belittle her and tell her what a child she's been. And like, how could you, how could you post our drama online and stuff like that? Like, bitch, I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's my life. I'll post whatever I want online.
Oh, this one made me mad. I hope they see it. I hope this comes up on their For You page.
There's an edit to the update. Guys, this is the first time I've faced what y'all have called racism. To be honest, I didn't see Ellie putting cinnamon on my rosagola as racism. I was just hurt that my days of hard work was ruined like that. I understand I need to work on my self-esteem and not let people walk all over me. My best friend's elder brother, he's a doctor and is super pissed at my ex right now because he didn't know what happened. Booked an appointment with a therapist he knows, as he thinks I need mental help to not normalize aggressive behavior. I'm sorry for ranting on Reddit, but I guess that's where I am. Both my best friend and I will be going. He had been there for some time before, and the situation is tense at home because Dada, Bestie's brother, didn't know what was happening and tore my friends a new one for not protesting when Dave said shit to me. I still haven't told him it was over a Reddit post and that I'm writing here. I feel awful and don't know how to tell my mom she was right. I wish I never went out with him. One of my ex's friends from the dinner party asked me if I really left my ex over dessert, so I guess that's what he told people. It hurts. I know it shouldn't, but it hurts. I think it is partly my fault. I shouldn't have let myself be treated like this. There were signs and I ignored them. And now I think I'll never have another relationship because it feels like a horrible, anxious feeling. Like, yes, like the lowest of low keys, it is kind of your fault, like in a sense, not to like victim blame or anything, just the fact that there were signs and you ignored them, but you learn from that. And in the future, like you'll understand.
You have to go through this stuff to learn from it. Like,
yeah.
Like, no relationship is going to be perfect. And most people don't get it right on the first try. So it's like I don't know. I feel like everything happens for a reason and people go through stuff like this to learn from it. So in their next relationship, they know their worth and
exactly.
They know what to tolerate and what not to tolerate.
You're not gonna deal with this again. You're not gonna put up with it again. You're not gonna put yourself in the same situation. Like, yeah, you have this anxious feeling. So, okay, don't date for a little bit. You don't need to date. You don't need to have a boy. It's fresh. Exactly. It's not fresh.
Over.
Exactly.
Like, you're not going to be like single for the rest of your life. Like, I know it probably feels like that now, but you will get over it. Like, you will date again. You'll find someone better.
When you connect with somebody, you will connect with somebody. And now you will have that experience to know, like, I don't want this in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, you'll go through that. And yeah, like when you say like, I think it's partially my fault, like it's good for everybody to take responsibility for wherever they, whatever their actions are and everything like that. But you don't need to blame yourself for somebody else's shitty behavior.
Exactly.
Now you know that you're not going to deal with that stuff in the future. I guess her mom didn't like him either because she's like, don't know how to tell my mom she was right. I guess she never wished I went out with him. So. Yeah. But that's just like, maybe the next time you go out with somebody and whether it's your mom or whether it's your friend or whether it's a random stranger and they kind of say something about like, oh, I don't really like who you're dating or something. Maybe you'll be like, well, why do you say that? What gives you that feeling and stuff? Because there is the parents who just will never like anybody you date. So you kind of take your parents with a grain of salt, right? Like, so your mom, like, your parents didn't like me when we first started dating. So at first instinct, you kind of want to disregard your parents' feelings about who you're dating. And that's kind of fair. But now that this has happened, you'll go through the second. Maybe you'll ask the different questions.
Like, why? Give me reasons why.
Yeah, give me the reason why you don't like them.
Maybe you're seeing something that I'm not seeing because I have rose-colored glasses on.
Doesn't mean that your mom's going to be right every time in the future. Mm-hmm. What I mean is, like, it doesn't hurt to ask those questions and maybe, like, build the answer for yourself is what I mean. Yeah. Craziness.
Yeah.
Ellie did you a favor.
Yeah, she did.
Ellie's racist ass thinking that Indian food needed to be brown. So I'm going to fucking add cinnamon to something.
That's wild. And
she did you a favor.
I didn't think you put that much effort into it. That comment too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whether it was 3 days or 3 minutes. It's still making an effort to make something homemade for your dinner party.
Exactly.
She still went out of her way to do something for you guys.
But how fucked up is that at her dinner party, she's like, I need a brown dish.
That's crazy.
We need to color match the food, and we need a brown dish. I asked you as an Indian person to bring food because I assumed that it was going to be brown.
That's
so
insane.
Fucked up.
So insane.
That's so fucked up. No.
Crazy.
I wish she used real names. Like,
I know, me too.
Lucky.
I know.
Lucky. Although we would never know because that was from the UK. So
yeah.
Oh man.
I hope this comes up on their For You page and they feel ashamed.
Right? They just can't get away from it. Can't get away from it. Would you say that Ellie was not very demure?
Not very demure, Ellie. She was not very proper etiquette of her. Not very cutesy, not very demure.
Not very reserved, modest, and shy.
Enough of that. Google doesn't know what it's talking about.
I would say OP would be demure. She's a bit reserved, she's modest, and a bit shy.
Okay. I'm going to move on.
Before we get into the next story, don't forget, guys, YouTube membership gets you early access. Sometimes I have these up as early as the Tuesday before they go live. For $1 a month on YouTube members, you can get early access. Back to you then.
Okay. Am I the asshole for not telling my husband's family that I speak their language?
Ooh.
My husband, Peter, 29 male, and I, 27 female, have been married for about 3 years. We have 1 child together, and I was pregnant with our second. I'm Western Canadian, while he is from Germany. We lived in Canada for a long time, but because of inflation, moving back to Germany seems like a better option for us. We bought a nice house in Hanover, where Peter is from. The day after our flight to Germany, we all visited Peter's family. This was the second time I have seen them. The first time was at our wedding. They greeted us and brought us inside of the house, fussing over my son. We had dinner, and soon we left the house, wanting to settle into our new home. We visited Peter's family often for the next few months, but I had started to realize that they would sometimes speak about me in German. They would make rude comments about my hair and makeup, question my fashion choices, and overall were just very unkind to me. They also said mean things about my pregnant belly, which I was already insecure about. I ended up talking to my husband about this. I told him that I didn't like the way they were treating me. I said that I hated how my every choice was being judged. He told me that he would talk to his family. The next time that we went to his parents' house, there was no more mean comments. For about 3 months, it was like nothing ever happened. I gave birth to a perfect baby girl that we named Lilith. Peter's family was very upset when they heard the name. If you didn't know, Lilith means ghost, or of the night. We didn't pick this name because of its meaning, but because it is a name that every girl in my family has had for many years. My middle name is Lilith, along with my mom's, my grandma's, and even my great-grandma's. For a while, I didn't visit my in-laws. I didn't want to hear them talk about how I shouldn't have named my daughter Lilith. But yesterday, we saw them again. It was my mother-in-law's birthday. As soon as we showed up, things started to go badly. Everyone wanted to hold Lilith, which made my mother-in-law upset because people weren't paying attention to her and made me overwhelmed. I didn't want people holding her. I was going through a pretty bad postpartum depression, and it was still pretty early to see people. I let people look at her, but declined when anyone asked to hold her. During dinner, I heard my sister-in-law talking to my mother-in-law in German. I heard her complaining about how she couldn't hold my baby. My sister-in-law even had the audacity to call me, and I quote, a fat, ugly, hokey addict. I turned to my sister-in-law and mother-in-law and told them off in German. I basically said that I have always known what they have said about me, but calling me names was the last straw. I also mentioned how I have known German for almost my whole life. The table instantly blew up. People were yelling at me because apparently this was all my fault. I left with Peter and we haven't talked to them since. So am I the asshole?
Just because, no.
In what world?
In what world that they're absolutely shady fucking human beings. Sorry, I gotta stop swearing. In what world that they are absolutely the worst kinds of human beings, does that make it your fault because you can understand them?
Exactly. That's so backwards.
Right?
Because I can understand you, that makes me an asshole.
You know, it's possible for people to also pull out Google Translate on their phone.
Yeah.
So maybe when you're talking shit around your family members in another language, don't you think they're going to be curious of what you're saying? And sister-in-law, you want to hold a baby? Go have one yourself, bro. Nobody owes you to hold their freaking baby, man.
Exactly. It's so entitled to be like, I'm mad because she won't let me hold her baby. What do you mean?
Aren't you grateful that your son lives in Germany again? Like, they could have stayed in Canada.
I feel like they should go back, honestly.
I would go back.
Or just like...
Also, like, nobody blames Peter. Like, Peter never mentioned to his family that his wife knows German, even when he talked to them.
Right? Like, why is it her fault that
also,
she didn't tell them?
No offense, but Peter, what the fuck is up? Are you saying that you...
What the fuck is up, bro?
I'm sorry, I gotta stop swearing. But like, okay, so she hears that her family is talking smack on her. Peter obviously hears it too and doesn't say anything. Like, he would have been like, is he not? Maybe he hasn't been in the room. Maybe they were saying it when she was in the room, but he wasn't, because they know that he understands German.
He better have not been in the room. He better have not been in that house,
right? And like, not saying more stuff. So like,
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, but like, low key, just curious here. Just curious.
Okay, what are you gonna say?
A little bit. You can speak German. You meet Peter's family. You have a wedding. Why?
Yeah.
Why would you not be speaking in German to them?
Right.
And like getting the brownie points for speaking their language? Is it because you could tell from the beginning of your relationship that Peter's family is kind of shit?
Yeah.
And you want to be able to know when they're talking shit about you?
Maybe it was
That's something I would do.
Yeah.
Like, if I could speak another language, I wouldn't tell anybody that I could speak that other language. I would save it for this moment. But I am curious. Not that it makes you the asshole, but I'm curious. What was your reasoning for not, like, the first time you met his family and at the wedding, be like, German, and like conversating in German? You want your schnitzel? You know, something like that. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think, like, what's the, like, when you think French, you're like, oh, bonjour. But like, what do you say when you think German? I got nothing.
I think schnitzel.
That's what comes to my mind for German. You know what I mean? Like, what comes to your mind when you like attempt to like say something in German? So very, very interesting why you decided. It doesn't make you the asshole, but why did you decide to keep that secret to yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. You're asking the good questions here. Top comment, not the asshole. Assholes are never wrong. They remain assholes by refusing to ever take ownership of their own words or actions, so they never have to change. They can be as judgmental and insulting as they want because they're right, and anyone who challenges them must be at fault. So of course it's your fault that they were insulting you. They couldn't possibly have been in the wrong. So you married into a family of assholes.
It makes me question Peter.
Right?
You are who raised you. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree is an expression for a reason.
Okay, I'm not gonna say that because his parents are assholes, he must be an asshole too.
No, but it makes me question, because people are usually like the people that they were raised around. So it makes me question. Similar in a sense. Not saying they're carbon copies, but there's some characteristics that blend in there.
Okay.
So makes me curious. Is she blinded by Peter Love? Teresa disagrees with me on this one.
Yep. What?
Second top comment. And you're living in Germany. Do they really think you wouldn't learn the language of the country where you live? They've been extremely rude to you and about you. You're definitely not the asshole. I think your husband needed to grow a shiny spine as soon as they started and should have told them off instantly. So he is a bit of an A, or at least a total wuss. That brings my question. Like, were they only saying it when he wasn't in the room? Or have they been saying it in front of him?
Yeah. But also she did tell him. She was like, I don't like the comments that your families are making.
Right?
He said I would talk to them. Did he talk to them?
Yeah.
Because they continued.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Not very demure.
Okay. Are you saying that OP was a reserved, modest, and shy individual?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying the parents weren't very modest.
They definitely weren't shy. I mean, yeah, they definitely weren't shy.
It's exactly not very demure.
No, that I'm saying the opposite. Demure is shy.
Yeah, so they weren't.
Never mind, we're moving on. Back to me.
Let's delete that Google page.
No,
Okay? You don't need to refer to it
Keeping
anymore.
that definition tab up and
That
ready.
definition was not what I had in mind when I named this episode.
Yeah, so then I tried to Google Demure 2024 to see if there's like a different meaning. Like what's the modern dictionary, urban dictionary? That's right?
Yeah, let's do Urban Dictionary. There we go. Should have done it at the beginning.
It's the
of
number
the
one.
episode.
It's the number one search.
What do you mean?
I typed in Urban Dictionary, and the next thing that popped up was Urban Dictionary Demure is like the number one Google search that comes up. Urban Dictionary, a young woman that is well spoken with manners and can be outwardly shy/reserved, innocent in thought, and therefore attractive in a way that is unknown to her.
Try Urban Dictionary, not very demure.
Not very demure means the opposite of being modest, reserved, and serious.
Okay, we may need to change this title.
Demure means modest, reserved, and serious. It can also mean coy, polite, kind, or sensitive. For example, you might describe someone as demure if they are quiet, shy, and behave very correctly. Not very demure means the opposite of being modest, reserved, and serious. So their family was not very demure.
Yeah, it works.
So was the title? What was the title? What's the title for this episode?
Not
again?
very demure.
Not very demure. So the opposite of demure.
Yes.
Okay. I thought the episode was very demure.
No, it's not very demure.
Guys, I'm very confused. All right. Back to me.
Okay, yes.
Am I the asshole for wearing a wedding dress at a wedding? So, my friend, 20 female, and I, 19 male, have been friends for a few years, and she recently got engaged. A week ago, I got a DM for her for a small costume party she was hosting as a celebration for her getting engaged. I asked if there was a theme, and she said there wasn't. I'm a cosplayer, so I had a lot of choices. I didn't want to rock up in an anime cosplay, so I thought it'd be funny to go to an engagement party as the corpse bride. I arrived at our house yesterday and everything seemed normal. A few people complimented my costume and I was having a lot of fun. After 10 minutes, my friend's fiance walked out in a black tuxedo and announced that this is actually their wedding. Apparently, my friend saw a video of someone doing this and wanted to do the same. He asked us all to go to the backyard for the ceremony to begin. I went straight to him. I asked him if I should go home quickly and change my outfit and that I would get back before it started. He told me it was fine since I didn't know that this was a wedding. I trusted him and followed everyone outside. They got married and everything seemed good. The reception was just in their house again, so everyone just walked back inside and picked up where they left off. I tried talking to my friend and celebrating with her, but she just kept making excuses not to talk to me. I assumed it was just because she was tired from the big day and wanted some alone time. I didn't bother her after that and the party soon ended. I got home and half an hour passed when my phone started getting notifications. I checked and it was my friend texting me. She was cussing me out and telling me how I ruined her wedding. I was really confused and asked what I did. That only made her more angry. She told me it was basic knowledge not to wear a wedding dress to a wedding. I reminded her that I had no idea it was a wedding and that I asked her now husband if I should change and he said it was fine. She didn't respond, but I got a text from her husband. He asked why I would tell her that he said it was fine. I told him he said it was fine. Then he said how I should have changed anyways and it's my fault that the two are now fighting over this. I tried texting her that I was sorry and if I had known I wouldn't have done it. I woke up today and saw her and her husband have blocked me on everything. So am I the asshole for not changing out of the wedding dress when I found out it was actually a wedding?
No. This new husband of hers sucks.
Piece of work.
Sucks.
Question though, like is he like their next door neighbor? He's saying the wedding is starting. How are you leaving, changing, and coming back, and you're gonna not miss it? Like, do you have
That's a
change
good
of
point.
change of clothes in your car, or do you live next door? Because you are missing it, bro. She's walking down in 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, he probably would have missed it, I think. But he would have been there for the party.
Well, yeah, I would have been there for the reception.
Yeah. But no, like, you literally did everything you could. Like, you asked. You knew, like, you realized, oh, maybe this, like, isn't really appropriate. This was a surprise. A stupid surprise, actually, I will say. Like, I would never do this. I would never be like, surprise, you're all at my wedding. People would get upset.
And then be upset that they didn't wear the right thing?
Yes, exactly. Like,
what are the chances that several people could have wore white?
A costume party, too. Like,
yeah.
I don't like that. People are, like, really freaking weird.
I do have a question, though.
What?
Do you think that maybe any kind of do you think it's still inappropriate to wear a wedding dress to an engagement party?
I did think that at first. Like, it is a little bit weird, but he went as the corpse bride.
And it's a costume party.
It's a costume party. I think it's actually, like, kind of funny. Like, it's on theme for an engagement party.
Kind of, right?
Like, it's like everybody knows you're not the bride to be. Like,
yeah.
I think it's funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Top comment, not the asshole. The facts of this are pretty simple. 1, you were told this is a costume party, so you wore a costume. 2, when asked about a theme, you were not given any restrictions. 3, they sprung a surprise wedding on you. 4, once you realized this, you asked the groom if you should go home and change, and the groom said no. They had multiple chances to get you to change, and they didn't take any of them. So getting mad with you after the fact doesn't make any sense.
Yep. The groom is a little bitch.
So there's an update.
Whoa!
I honestly didn't think this would get as much attention as it did, and I've tried reading through all the comments, but damn, there was a lot. I do appreciate everyone's feedback. The original post got up to 40,000 upvotes. Also, I'm not sharing photos. Sorry, just for privacy reasons. Now, the update. Since they blocked me on everything, I didn't try to reach out since it would be a waste of effort. But I didn't block them back. If they wanted to talk, I was fine with it. 2 days ago, I was unblocked by my friend. She asked if we could call and talk about what happened, and I agreed. She apologized for blowing up at me like she did, but also told me she was still upset. I was only made aware because of the comments and now her that wearing wedding attire to anything wedding related is common sense.
Maybe not wearing wedding attire to anything wedding related is common sense?
Yeah. All I knew was the no white on the wedding day. Honestly, after people informed me, I felt awful and downright stupid. So I apologized back for not running it through her like I should have since I didn't know. A lot of people were telling me to cut her off. But I've known her since I was 14, so I'm glad we can stay friends. Her husband, on the other hand, he had told her that he came up to me and asked me to change. And apparently I told him it didn't matter because I was already there, or something along those lines. She was crying a lot while telling me. After she blew up at me, I told her the real story, and she got pissed at her husband. The husband suggested both of them block me so the fight would stop. She agreed to do it, but was still upset by it all. Eventually, she started asking people who were at the wedding to see what happened. 3 people saw me walk up to him and heard me ask. This is where she learned her husband lied to her. Again, a huge fight between the two. Turns out he's hated me since I met him 5 years ago. They had already been dating for a year beforehand. I became good friends with her, but not him. He felt as though I was trying to take his girlfriend. I don't know what I did to make him feel this way. She's beautiful, but I'd never do that shit to anyone. I don't know why he'd wait 5 years, but he decided the day of his wedding was the best time for him to get rid of me. I'm not sure what's going to happen to them in the future. She's staying at another friend's house until her and her husband are able to talk about it. I doubt I'll update anymore. Like, update, they're getting a divorce, because that feels insensitive. Again, thanks to everyone for all the advice and points of view. It helped me out so much. Have a good day or night.
She needs to divorce this guy. That's annulment.
Bro, great way to start your wedding off strong by lying to your now wife.
Did he not think that he was going to defend himself?
Right?
That
You think he was just going to take it? He thought he could just block them both and then... That's it.
That's crazy.
I was going to say, I don't understand why people get in a fight and they're like, blocked. Like, you know, you only block someone if they're just nonstop harassing you. But no, he had a plan with that blocking. He was like, I'm going to block him and then I'll never get discovered for my wrongness. There's an edit to the update. My friend is doing a lot better and plans to talk to her husband soon. I've also shown her my post here since I felt like she had the right to know. While some comments made her quite upset, but she knows she overreacted. My friend's emotions are always intense, but she tries her best to keep them under control. She's seen people talk about red flags in her husband, but isn't sure what to do. She told me she'll decide based on what he does when they talk about it. I'll support her no matter what she decides. Even if he rubs me the wrong way and I have my own opinion on what she should do, it's up to her. She's an amazing person and I just want her to be happy.
Yeah. It must be tough to like have a friend, watch your friend date a shitty person, then marry a shitty person. This person is like,
yeah,
out to get you, literally
right?
Sabotaging you, lying.
Literally. Yeah, that's tough.
All right.
Back to you.
Yes. All right. Keeping it on the wedding theme.
Not very demure. So, not very demure. So that would be like the person is very outgoing. They're, what's the opposite of modest? Self-fulfilled, no, douchebag.
Yes.
Too much confidence. Narcissistic.
Yes.
And very outgoing, not shy.
You're making it too complicated.
I'm just trying to understand.
I'm sorry you're not chronically online like I am. I feel like most of our listeners are like me and will get it.
I just feel like you're misinterpreting.
I don't think so. I think I actually got it right, but I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong. So you guys let me know.
That's huge. Teresa never admits when she's wrong.
That's not true. All right. Would I be the asshole if I drop out of a friend's wedding after not being invited to the bachelorette? Hi. So I, 25 female, am currently being pushed back and forth with my choice, and I thought the lovely people of Reddit might also be able to rein me in. I am currently 13 weeks pregnant. My friends around me have all been very happy and excited for me. However, my childhood friend, 25 female, let's call her Lisa, stonewalled me since I announced at 8 weeks. I'd assumed it was wedding stress, but now I'm second guessing it. On the weekend, I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across a post where she had thanked everyone for coming to her bachelorette. Photos with the girls and her smiling in the middle, and I sort of sat there shocked. At first, I tried to be mature and just let it go. But this is the girl I grew up with. She was a bridesmaid in my wedding party, and I'm an honorary bridesmaid at hers. She's not having a wedding party. In the end, I guess hormones took over, and I ended up reaching out to her. At first, I went, "Oh, looks like fun." And she replied that it was, and after a tub of ice cream and a good sob, I reached out and went, "Hey, sorry to be this person, but why wasn't I invited?" She immediately messaged me back with the response, "To be honest, the whole day was centered around drinking, wineries, and heading to town after, and I'm not sure you would have enjoyed being around all of us drunk AF, especially because you're pregnant right now. I get that an invite would have been nice regardless, but in all honesty, I just wanted to keep it very small. I'm really sorry you feel that way, but I don't want to make this a big thing because I've already had a shit week." I tried to respond with, "Hey, thanks for getting back to me, but I'm still upset because the day is about you and I wanted to be there to celebrate you." And then she called me and just asked me to not make this a big thing once again, and she sounded incredibly annoyed, and like the doormat I am, I dropped it. After thinking this over for the past few days, I'm feeling very hurt and heartbroken. This was a girl I grew up with and loved and supported through a lot of shit. I've helped her plan and prepare a lot for her wedding, so to suddenly get iced out like this, I'm feeling a certain way. My husband suggests we don't go, and I'm on the edge. So, Reddit, would I be the asshole if I declined going to her wedding and distancing myself?
No, I mean, you have full rights to be slighted. At first I was like, okay, like, doesn't really matter. Like, if you're like, maybe you aren't as close childhood friends as you guys think you are, because, you know, we didn't get too much description on that. But then you said she was a bridesmaid at my wedding party.
And she's an honorary bridesmaid in hers.
Bro, I'm slighted. I'm not going to the wedding anymore. I'm sorry, but I want an apology from you. Not just, let's not make this a big thing because I've had a shit week. I don't give a crap about your shit week, bro. We all have shit weeks, man. I don't care about that. I'm not going to a wedding.
Yeah,
Nope,
she's just like pushing it away, like, please let's not make this a big deal. I'm already going through it, blah, 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 blah. Well, you have to take responsibility for your actions. Like,
yeah.
No one's gonna just spare you because you're having a shit week.
Oh, Mr. Officer, I'm sorry I was speeding the car. I've just been having a shit week.
Exactly. So there's an update. First, I'll read the top comment. Not the asshole. Her saying, don't make this a big thing would piss me off. If you guys are close, then she 100% should have at least invited you. The whole, it's my wedding and I can invite and do what I want is true. However, that doesn't mean you have no consequences to your decisions. To me, she doesn't consider you as a good friend as you may think.
Yeah, I was going to say, yes, it's your wedding and you can do what you want and stuff, but I'm still going to feel slighted and upset over here. The fact that you said, I guess an invite would have been nice regardless means that you thought about it and then you decided not to do it. Like,
that's a crazy thing to say.
Let her decide if she wants to come or not, if she wants to be around drunk people or not. She probably wineries, they also have food. I'm pretty sure she would have been down for the day's activity without drinking. Exactly.
Like, well, I don't drink. So what? I wouldn't be invited to this because you're going to like a winery and stuff. Like, it's not about the drinking part. It's about like the environment. You're having fun. You're celebrating your friend who's about to get married. Like,
sounds like she's not going to be a friend for much longer. Sounds like she's a shit person who doesn't deserve your friendship. Don't you put up with it. Don't be the doormat.
Period. Update. So I haven't heard from Lisa. That I expected. What I didn't expect is a friend of Lisa to get in touch with me. Let's call her Sarah. I knew of Sarah and spoke to her a few times at events we attended together, and she was one of the girls with myself that went wedding dress shopping for Lisa.
She went wedding dress shopping too, and then you didn't get invited to the bachelorette party? Like, come on.
She was also a friend I noticed wasn't at the bachelorette, which was a surprise. Anyways, at first she was doing the, hey, how are you? And we did a little polite small talk, blah, 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 until she finally went, so are you as pissed off and mad as I am at Lisa? Immediately, I was slightly shocked, as a few times I had met Sarah, she was very much, I guess, demure. That opened the floodgates of information, and she told me everything she knows. So what I didn't put in the post is I actually waited 2 days before messaging Lisa about the lack of invite. Turns out 3 of Lisa's friends who also weren't invited hit her up immediately after she posted on Instagram asking why they weren't invited. Turns out these girls absolutely chewed Lisa alive, and my quote-unquote confrontation was soft, and finally it was revealed what actually happened, and now I'm even more confused.
So that's why she was having a shitty week.
Yeah, because she was being called out.
Yep.
So Lisa admitted to Sarah that her sister-in-law planned the bachelorette and just decided she was only going to invite the friends that she knew. So Lisa's usual group of 8 to 10 friends, including me, got narrowed down into 4, and Lisa decided not to correct her sister-in-law and just went with it, not realizing how many people she would be upsetting with not inviting people.
Okay, so her friend is also a doormat.
What do you mean? Oh, Lisa. Lisa is.
Yeah.
Wait, is Lisa the bride?
Lisa's the bride.
Yeah, Lisa's a doormat.
Lisa's also a doormat to her sister-in-law.
Exactly. Apparently, once people started attacking her, Lisa basically buried her head in the sand and started making up lies to everyone on why they weren't invited and using the same excuse of, don't make this a big deal, until everyone realized the reasons were bullshit and called her out for it, and the real truth came out. Sarah has informed me the girls who weren't invited have all pulled out of the wedding, their partners included, because they got some annoyed response from Lisa before she told the truth, and they all thought they didn't deserve that. Then she finally asked me what Lisa told me, and I went deathly quiet on the phone before finally admitting she used my pregnancy as an excuse, which then started Sarah on another rant of anger on how Lisa could say that to me when I'm pregnant. Anyways, we ended the call, and she hoped we could get coffee sometime, so I think I've made a friend? ? So that's the update. This pregnant lady is very confused, and I'm currently the #1 buyer of ice cream at my local dairy, lol.
Oh man, that's some tea. That is some tea right there. That's some hot, steamy, smoking tea. Big
Not very demure of Lisa.
No. I think it's funny because Lisa let herself be a doormat to her sister-in-law and didn't stick up for her friends at her bachelorette party. And now there's consequences that those people are offended.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It sucks for Lisa. I feel a little bit bad for Lisa now because, you know, she didn't plan the bachelorette party, but you didn't handle it in the right way after. Because of you didn't handle it because you didn't want to stick up for yourself. Now look at all your other friendships are crumbling because you didn't stick up for your friendships. People aren't going to want to be friends with you when you don't stick up and treat them the correct way.
100%. Top comment, don't go. Whatever is going on behind the scenes will ensure this isn't a celebratory event with friends and laughter. Finish whatever tasks you're working on / promise for the wedding and bow out. It's already extremely toxic, and my guess would be that you haven't even seen all the drama yet. Focus on your new bundle to be and use the day of the wedding as some time for you and your husband to baby moon or pre-baby moon.
Yeah, I would say if this journey that you're on, the train ride that you're on, if it's stressful for you, just self-exit and do what's right for you. If you are like, yo, this stuff is hilarious to me, I love this drama, and it doesn't stress you out, okay, stay on board the train and, you know, just see what's gonna unfold. But if it's like, I can't handle this stress is not good for me, then you need to bow out and just go to the side.
Okay, there's another update. Guys, I want off this train. So minor and small update. So as mentioned in my previous post, Lisa and I are childhood friends and our mothers are friends. I finally shared what happened with my mom, and first my mom was so upset for me, but also gave me an, I told you so, OP, you are too much of a doormat. Thanks, Mom. But then she said I have a big heart and sometimes people tend to use and abuse it. Once again, thanks, Mom. Anyways, Mom gave me more tea, more gossip. So apparently while Lisa has been telling people that she's paying for her wedding out of her own pocket, turns out it's a big fat lie. Lisa's mother had been sending her money, and from what my mother told me, it was a decent chunk of change. How do we know this? Well, Lisa's mom went to my mom upset because one thing I forgot to notice is Lisa's mom wasn't invited to the bachelorette party.
Oh my God.
Context for people outside of New Zealand. We don't have bridal parties, so usually what people do is the older generation gets invited to like dinner, and then the younger girls go out and party if you have a piss up.
That's word for word what it says.
I don't know what that means, but okay. If you don't have a piss up, okay. If you don't have a piss up and you just do a more chilled bachelorette, then mom will be there the whole time, like mine. So Lisa's mother was distraught because she had been sending Lisa a decent amount of cash, had been told she wasn't allowed to give her opinion about anything to do with the wedding, and then wasn't invited to her bachelorette. And Lisa's mother is honestly a nice lady, so to hear that, it kind of broke my heart. And if I had known Lisa's mother was sending money, I would have told Lisa to pull her head in. My mom then had to break the news about why I wasn't invited to the bachelorette, and Lisa's poor mother was mortified. So that's the update. Is it even an update? I don't know. I'm just very sad at this point because I don't know where my friend is gone, if she's there anymore. Is this a Bridezilla moment? I don't know. My ice cream journey, though. I read people have been loving this pregnancy lady's craving, so allow me to indulge. Recently, I tried the Ben & Jerry's banoffee flavor, and it was very good. I wish the caramel swirl was mixed through the ice cream, but beggars can't be choosers, and I had the most amazing strawberry sorbet the other day. Honestly, so good, I almost asked the ice cream shop for a tub of it, but I had to control myself.
Oh my.
It's funny.
Haagen-Dazs, mango raspberry.
Oh my God, we haven't had it in so long.
We've been doing so good. We used to buy Haagen-Dazs a lot, but we have been doing good to tone down our ice cream addiction. Haagen-Dazs Cookie Dynamo and Haagen-Dazs mango raspberry. Those are the two best in there.
I want the mango raspberry now. It's
Haagen-Dazs,
Saturday.
Haagen-Dazs over Ben & Jerry.
Oh, 100%. We never buy Ben & Jerry.
If you disagree with me, I will die on this rock.
Rock? Hill?
Mountain.
I'll die on this hill.
Yeah. The top comment on this update is actually interesting. You know, I'm not sure I believe the story about how Lisa's sister-in-law set up the guest list. I think that might be a lie Lisa was telling to Sarah to try and excuse her actions. If that's the case, Lisa totally threw her sister-in-law under the bus, which... Does sister-in-law know that she's being partly blamed for this? Kind of wonder if Lisa's mother would appreciate knowing that maybe she wasn't included because of Lisa's sister-in-law made all the decisions. Because that would also be her daughter-in-law, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be like, yo, my own daughter-in-law didn't invite me. She was in control of the guest list. Like,
Awkward. Yeah. Interesting.
OP does reply to that.
Oh.
I'm starting to realize that this is most definitely the case. Sister-in-law has been thrown under the bus because Lisa is realizing that people don't take kindly to being disrespected. As for Lisa's mom knowing about Lisa's excuses, I don't know. I'll talk to my mom and see what she thinks. For now, I don't want to overload the poor woman because it's a lot. OP's so nice.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Lisa's kind of like, I don't know. Liar. Yeah, she like there's one thing if like your sister-in-law did set it all up and you didn't know until you got there and then you just had to go through the event.
It would be better to say that than to lie and be like,
yeah, there's
oh,
another
you're
thing
pregnant,
to lie about everything.
Yeah, that's why people are upset with her. I swear, if she just came out and said like, I'm so sorry, like my sister-in-law planned this, she didn't invite any of you and I'm really sorry, like I wish I would have said something to her but I didn't, that's on me.
Yep.
They would have respected her. They probably wouldn't have dropped out of the wedding.
Yep.
But because she lied to them up front and then told the truth, like, you look shitty.
Yep.
Okay, final update. I haven't read this one. Just want to give a big thanks to everyone on Reddit for coming along this wild journey with me. You have all helped me not go insane this past month. On to the update. So, I attended the wedding. I know, you can all boo me in the comments, but I was leaning towards not going until I spoke to my mom, who ultimately told me this would be a nice way of closing our chapter of friendship. I could walk away with my head held high. Later, she told me that also Lisa's mom begged my mom to convince me to attend. I attended with my husband, and I immediately noticed the vibe and aura was completely off. People of Reddit who are married, who will understand me, weddings feel like love. This didn't. This was technically an Instagram picture-perfect wedding, but it could have been anyone's wedding. It didn't feel personal. My friend barely smiled unless it was in photos. Her vows were robotic, and the maid of honor was useless. That was my biggest pet peeve. It is not that hard to see that the bride's dress needs fluffing, or she needs a drink, and even I'll admit I felt no joy watching speeches, and how everyone spoke about the groom and threw something in there for the bride at the last second. The bride acted like we were good, like there was no beef, like the bachelorette thing never happened. I felt strange. I didn't like it because I know her and she isn't able to hide her emotions and she wears her emotions on her sleeve. So I think she genuinely thinks nothing is wrong between us. She pulled me aside and said how she loved and appreciated me and how she was excited to be an honorary auntie and kept touching my belly and blowing kisses at it. I left the wedding feeling a lot of emotions. I know I'm hormonal right now and I feel everything, but I don't know. But I can sit here and admit that the friendship is done. I don't think I can look at her the same after everything I learned talking to my mother and with how I was treated. The chapter is closed, and other than the bridesmaids thing, I can look back somewhat fondly on our childhood and time together. Planning our marriages out with our Bratz dolls, I've never been good with friendship breakups, but this time I think I am. I think I'll be okay. Thank you all for listening to the rambles of this pregnant lady who has also enjoyed your ice cream recommendations. You have all expanded my horizons, and I'm sure that the little one in my stomach appreciates it too. Signing off, love OP.
Aww. Oh.
Well,
happy ending-ish.
Yeah. No, I'm glad
that she's happy with herself.
Yeah. She knows her worth, and she knows that she doesn't want to be treated like a second option to her friend. So
exactly. My friend's going to come around in 5 years after her divorce.
100%. All right.
What a journey we went on there.
That was a journey. I haven't read those last two updates, so that was a journey for me too.
I'll give you that one because Demure was said in one of the updates.
Yep. Thank you.
OP was very demure.
OP was, but Lisa wasn't.
She was demure.
Lisa was not very demure. Not very cutesy.
Okay. I'm going to do one more. We have a big Q&A section coming up.
Maybe we don't have to read all the Q&As. I was thinking 3 max and then save the rest for the next episode.
Then there'll be the 17 left. We'll just we'll rapid fire them.
Okay, we'll see.
Before we get into the next story, we do have a lot of leftover stories that we're going to read on our bonus Patreon episodes. We have bonus Patreon episodes that come out every Friday. This is your first time. I'm only saying this because this could be someone's first time listening because it's been said lots of times before. But bonus episodes on Patreon every Friday. Don't forget. You're messing with my birthday cards. Oops. Those on YouTube are looking at my cute little birthday cards.
I saved it.
Thank you. All right, so I'll let you pick which one.
Okay.
Girlfriend and friends pulled a prank at my house that I'm not really happy with. How do I react? Or am I the asshole for refusing to co-sign my sister's mortgage after my parents went behind my back? Or am I the asshole for not letting my friend copy my notes anymore after she told me I was too obsessive about studying?
Let's do... the first title seemed like the best one, actually.
Girlfriend and
Even though
friends
it's
pulled a
long.
prank?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good one.
it's long, though. But the title seems intriguing.
Okay. It was a good one, but I think am I the asshole refusing to co-sign my sister's mortgage was even better. But if you want that one, what do they got to do, babe?
Sign up on Patreon.
That's right. All right. This one's coming from Best of Redditor Updates. Girlfriend and friends pulled a prank in my house that I'm really not happy with. How do I react? Background. Both mid-20s. I live in a townhouse. My girlfriend and I have a mutual friend who is going to be out of town for work for quite a while, and she had been begging to go out for breakfast with them the entire week. I was opposed because they wanted to go at 6:30 a.m., and I typically work late into the night. I offered 4 different days we could get dinner, and the mutual friend declined. After continued begging, I gave in to my girlfriend because it seemed like it meant a lot to her to see our mutual friend and his significant other at breakfast. So I wake up at 6:15 to knocking on my front door and open it to see an 8-foot tall tower of red Solo cups filled with oatmeal completely blocking the door.
What?
I grunt and immediately close the front door.
What?
Keep in mind, this is the only way in and out of my house. I look to the security camera to see them taking snaps and laughing outside. The 3 of them text me asking me to come out and go to breakfast, but they make no attempt to clear the door. I expect they're just waiting for me to blow through it and make a huge mess. I turn the lights out and go back to bed so they leave. When I wake up, the tower is still there. It takes me about 20 minutes and 4 whole garbage bags to clean up what must have been over 20 pounds of oatmeal, not to mention the mess it made on my front porch and on the carpet in my entryway. I had planned on taking my girlfriend to an NHL game tomorrow, which would have cost me at least $100 in tickets, parking, food, etc. Now I have no desire to see or talk to her. I'm absolutely livid because it brings me back to high school where my car and house used to be vandalized in similar ways, like saran wrap, Vaseline, toilet paper, etc. I feel like it was meant to be an innocent prank, but my natural urge is to go full scorched earth and just be nasty to her, which I know is not a healthy way to deal with this situation. I just want to know if I'm in the right and how do I maturely handle this situation without escalating it, while still expressing how disappointed I am in her.
I feel like this is one of those pranks that are like harmless. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's like a huge deal, but
I do kind of agree with that because there's some pranks where it's like scaring somebody or like, you know, there's other pranks of like the pie in the face or like the water balloon at them, like something that like is unavoidable that they did to the person, then called it a prank. Or
stealing someone's ice cream. Do you remember that one?
No.
The guy, the boyfriend stole someone's ice cream on the street and ran home with it.
Stole and ran home. This is like you put an obstacle in front of someone's way, but they don't have to go. He turned around, like it was like an obstacle, but like they didn't push him through. They didn't throw oatmeal at him. So it's definitely not the worst prank that I've ever heard.
But I mean, I would be annoyed as well.
I'd be annoyed. You woke me up at 6:15 after I didn't go to bed until 1 or 2 in the morning. I barely got any sleep. I walk down, I see this. I do the exact same thing. I close the door, I go back up the
100%.
bed.
No, he reacted reasonably.
Yeah.
I do think like, I don't think you should go full scorched earth on your girlfriend though. Like,
I don't think so.
Like, I think you should just tell her, like, I did not appreciate that. I've had many pranks done to me through high school and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't appreciate this. I hope you never do a prank.
Right?
Again.
Does she know about the high school pranks or not? That would determine my level of scorched earth. If she doesn't know, it's not her fault. If she does know that you're vividly against pranked and it gives you a little bit of throwback, that
would change things.
So there's some relevant comments. OP on why he hates pranks. In high school, one of the many times this happened, I woke up and my house was paintballed and egged. My car was saran wrapped and covered in Vaseline. The lawn was forked and the 25-foot tree in our front yard was covered with half a dozen rolls of toilet paper.
Wow.
We had to have a patrol car on our street every night for the next week so it didn't happen again. It gave me a lot of anxiety. It made it hard to sleep. Wondering every night if I wake up to find my car fucked with, or having to wonder what my parents must think of me that someone hated me enough to do something so unnecessary.
Aww.
I'm going to tell her this and explain why their little joke is so upsetting to me. Depending on how she responds, I am willing to end the relationship over this. I thought after how long we had been dating that she had the insight to stop for a second and realize that I wouldn't think that this is funny. So she didn't know. She didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
What is... My lawn was forked. What does that mean?
I'm picturing like those big pitchforks.
Pitchforks? Okay. I can see that.
Just all over the lawn.
Okay, here we go. The prank involves sticking dozens or hundreds of plastic forks in someone else's yard.
Shut up. That's... Why would anyone waste their time to do that? I would love to know.
Apparently, there is humor to be found in watching the victim remove all the plastic picnic forks from the yard, which can get tedious depending on the number of forks.
What about the person putting them in?
Tedious for them too.
Okay.
Yep. I guess it is tedious to watch them remove it, but it'd also be tedious to watch you set it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, aren't you embarrassed to do that?
Like, you're getting back the same tedious effort that you put in.
Yeah.
So, you're an idiot?
You're an idiot.
Let's see. And, so OP makes another comment about why he hates pranks. I'm not holding the history against her because she didn't know, but I feel like the rest of it is still a really bad look. She got up early to help prepare it, set it up, laughed, and took pictures when I opened the door, and then jumped in the car to go get breakfast with them minutes later. No apology, no text to check up how I was, no offer to help clean up, nothing. She texted later asking, "Are you still mad?" but didn't actually do anything about it. The crepes on her Snapchat story looked great, but I wasn't there, so I can only assume that they were good. I expect better than that. She's been sweet up to this moment. We rarely fight, but if this is the hill she wants to die on, I'm not going to back down. If this is how she acts about something so innocuous, do I really want to go through the really serious stuff with her? That's all very good points.
Those are great points because, like, her completely ignoring it after she knows you're upset and then her texting you be like, "Are you still mad?
Are you still mad?" The fact that, like, they just left and went to breakfast without him and left him with that mess.
Okay.
The prank is funny, but you gotta be willing to clean up your own mess.
Yeah.
Like, egging someone's house, paintballing someone's house, that's not pranking, that's vandalism.
Yeah.
That's not a prank, that's a vandalism. Putting the whoopee cushion on someone's chair when they sit down with a fart, that's a prank.
Yeah.
This is kind of a prank if you help clean it up.
Yeah.
Opie makes another comment and says, "This afternoon she sent me 2 texts. Babe, are you still mad? And friends told me you would think it's funny." And I was like, okay. I sent a long message explaining why I hate pranks like this. I told her I was disappointed in her for trying to pass off responsibility and doing something she should have obviously known I wouldn't like. Explained to her that I had to clean up the entire mess and told her that we would not be going to the NHL game. She hasn't replied. She might still be at work since she went in late to accommodate the breakfast they all went to, but chances are she's seen it.
I just feel like her reaction is making me
What pissed me off more is the fact that they all just left me with this mess.
Yeah.
Instead of
that's what I mean.
Yeah, instead of like, and just left me. Instead of staying around. The fact that they weren't like, "Oh guys, he didn't like it. Now we're just gonna go breakfast for him." They should be like, "Oh guys, he didn't like it. We should probably like clean all this up."
That's so rude.
That's the sway point for me in this.
I agree.
So there's an update that comes 2 days later. She replied after she got home from work yesterday. I told her I didn't want to see her and she could text me whatever apology she had to say, but she came over anyways. She said the prank wasn't her idea, but agreed to let them use her house to prep for it. She claims to have questioned going through with it, but my friend, who has known me significantly longer than her, insisted I would think it was funny, so she deferred to him. I told her I would expect better from her and that I expect her to stand up for herself. She went on to say that she would never have pulled the prank or allowed it to happen if she knew my history with things. She didn't identify the major issues with the scenario on her own. Having me wake up early for a breakfast I didn't want to go to for her just to be pranked, having to clean it up by myself while they went to breakfast, and her not checking up on me at any point. I told her one mistake was understandable. I told her more than one mistake is understandable, but I pointed out along every step of the prank that there were easy things she could have done to make it right, but didn't. I asked her how could she make such an obvious series of mistakes one after another with someone she claims to love. Apparently, she asked some of her girlfriends for advice on what to do, friends unrelated to the story, and they told her to give me space. She was very insistent that she was sorry and was imperfect, but would always learn from her mistakes. I am still mad at her, but we're back on being on good terms. If this wasn't the only thing she had done wrong in the relationship, I'd have been a lot more harsh and maybe broken up with her. But frankly, I think that'd be a waste in this case. If she makes another blatantly thoughtless mistake like this in the future, then she'll probably be out of luck. Her reasoning and the way things played out are not okay, but understandable. On the other side of things, the mutual friend texted me the link to the post late last night, claiming to have found it while casually scrolling through Reddit. He identified that if he knew the history, he wouldn't have done it, but not any of the other issues I listed above, which all of you commenting identified for him. I replied briefly and stopped responding because I wasn't really impressed with his non-apology. I've known the guy for years, and I don't know what part of him thought I would find a huge fucking mess amusing.
Yeah, he makes great points. Like
he makes great points.
It was something on top of another. Like it wasn't just a prank. It was just
the reactions afterwards, right? And I can understand, like, even if you don't have that history, like the fact that you just left the mess and walked away and didn't give a shit about him and just went to breakfast and you're like, ha ha ha, he probably had to, clean it up himself. That's just wrong.
Yeah. It's stupid.
And it's dumb.
It's so dumb.
Dumb. All right.
Is that all?
That's it.
My 2 stories are going to also go to Patreon.
Got titles?
Extras. Okay, my 2 extra stories are going to be going on Patreon. They are titled, Am I the asshole for simply asking my boyfriend's dad to put a plate in the cabinet? Am I the asshole for telling my dad's parents that I don't want them at my graduation when they said I wasn't their real grandson?
Those are going to be good.
Yeah.
Now it's time for Q&A.
Q&A with Teresa in Denver.
Before we get to that, I just want to point out I am wearing my Quince pants again. They are very nice and very comfy. So don't forget to support Quince if you guys want to help us out with our podcast. The more people click on that link, more it helps us out.
Thank you.
Q&A?
Yeah.
This one is from episode 56 from Tiffany Johnson 6373. Love you guys. I have a question. Y'all don't talk about it, but do you ever think the stories you read are fake/made up?
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes, yes. And if we do come across ones where like the commenters are like, "Oh, this is fake, AI generated," blah blah blah, we don't read those on the podcast.
Although we did read one.
We did read one on the last one, the best of 2024, and
I think we found out after, though.
Well, and the reason that I still left it in was because that episode was about which stories got the most amount of upvotes. And even though some people called the Thanksgiving gelatin one was like a fake story, it still had the most amount of upvotes. So I felt like it still deserved to be read because I was reading what everybody else had upvoted on that episode. That's what that episode was about. But generally, when it comes to it, if we find that it's like fake or anything like that, we clip it.
Yeah.
I personally think that most of the stories are real.
They're convincing to us. Like you said, like I won't pick a story that I think is fake. So I feel like most of those stories that we have read are real. There could be some fake ones. There could be people fooling us.
Yeah, and when you look at their accounts too, you'll usually see that it'll just be that story, or you'll see that OP comment a lot, and that the responses are detailed and not bot-like. And it just some people say like karma farming or something. Like a lot of it just doesn't make sense to me why there would be fake stories on these single accounts that like get nothing out of it. Like if somebody was going to be making up fake stories, they'd be going to the fiction side of the website to create their fiction stories and help their account get built up.
Yeah.
So I don't see what the benefits would be from all these single different accounts that would create a fake story, unless it's like the Reddit platform themselves posting it, or even like the moderator or owner of a subreddit posting fake stories to try to boost up their subreddit. But I like to think that majority of the stories are actually people's real stories.
Yeah.
That's general belief that I have. And if I find out that it's fake, then I clip that story out.
There was that one from episode 10.
There was one from episode 10. I like to believe that it is real. That was the one with Juliet Pepperwood and the swan story with the bridezilla that got a boob job and stuff. I had a lot of updates on that one. And she just made a post the day that I'm watching this where she made an Eventbrite for $7 for you to get the full access story. From what
you guys want that.
Some people thought it was fake. Some people thought it was real. From the understanding that I got it, she went through a certain amount and then was getting in trouble with like lawyers and stuff. She had to say that this is fiction based on a true story, loosely based, to avoid any like legal ramifications.
I didn't interpret it that way. I interpreted that it was fake the entire time.
That was the way that I interpreted it. So, yeah.
But we didn't know at the time, obviously.
No, but I still think it was real. Me personally.
Okay.
So, next question. Hey, I love you guys so much. You are my inspiration for my own podcast. What did you guys do that made your podcast shoot up in popularity? We were just amazing.
I feel like we honestly got lucky, but also we posted consistently. We posted on Instagram and TikTok, like each story from each of our episodes. And those got traction, and when those kind of went viral, then it brought people to our Spotify, to our YouTube. So I feel like without those platforms, it definitely wouldn't have blown up, quote unquote, the way it has. I feel like it's much easier to go viral on Instagram and TikTok than it is just a podcast platform.
Yeah, long form is hard.
I would recommend, if you're going to start a podcast, do a video version for that reason. So you could post on Instagram and TikTok because it's much easier to go viral on that stuff.
Yeah, that was my strategy. We make a video version. When I'm editing, I chop down just the stories themselves, the 2 to 3 minute version, post them on TikTok. TikTok went viral first. We spiked up huge on TikTok, and then Instagram.
Should I say why we went viral? Well, I think I already explained it before, but the very first video that went viral was because it was me reading a story that I was stuttering so much in, and all the comments were being so rude to me. They were just like, you need to go back to school to read. And all the comments were just about my reading. It wasn't even about the story. But because there were so many comments, the video went up to like 500K views or something.
Yeah.
And I was horrified.
So just do it bad and it'll go viral.
There you go.
That was before we started editing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we posted TikTok, all the stories like twice a day, morning and night. And then Instagram rose, and then people came over to Spotify, and then the Spotify algorithm raised up the popularity of the podcast. We
have, I think 92% of our listeners are from Spotify, because I think Spotify, I guess, like puts us on their like recommended page or something. Yeah. I honestly don't know. I don't get it. Thank you to Spotify for doing that for us, because that's also helped our podcast a lot. So if you found this podcast through Spotify recommendations, please let us know in the comments. I'm curious to know how many people...
Like, where'd you come on board? Was it TikTok that you first saw us? Instagram, YouTube, Spotify? Like, how did you first find us? And we appreciate you guys for coming along the journey.
Thank you.
Because you guys are listening to us, we get to do what we do, and we love it, and we're excited for 2025. Next question.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Let's go.
Let's go. Next question.
Good luck on your podcast, though.
Yes. Best of luck.
What was the username? Because I saw
Jake.
someone else. Okay, yeah.
Best of luck, Jake.
He commented on another, on Best of Redditor. I'm pretty sure it's the same one. He said that he also made an episode titled the same, Best of Redditor Updates. Let's just give him a shout out. He put the name of the podcast. If you guys want more Reddit stories, it's called Crab Talk. So,
Well, shout out.
if you guys want more Reddit stories, you go give Crab Talk a listen.
Next question from Wheezebrain. Nope, Wheezebane. Love you guys. Question. Have you posted some banging personal stories on Reddit yourselves? If not, what would be your own most Reddit-worthy stories, ones you would choose to read on the show? Love you both. We have not. Actually, one. We have posted one story, and I could probably read that. I could probably read that now if you'd like. Should I read that out?
Sure.
This was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
This was the last Christmas.
Yeah.
Let's see. It would have been, I think.
It was on Today I Fucked Up.
Yeah. I posted it in Today I Fucked Up, and it actually got 1.1 million total views, but
How many upvotes?
2.5 thousand.
Really?
So I guess like the view to upvote ratio is very, very low.
2.5 thousand upvotes is shocking to me. I thought it wouldn't get that much.
Yeah. So my story was, today I fucked up by forgetting my fiance's purse at family Christmas. Today I fucked up. My fiance, 25 female, and I, 30 male, went to my family Christmas function on Boxing Day. We had a great time. When it was time to leave, I grabbed the bag we had brought our food and gifts in and grabbed our jackets. I had told my fiance I had our stuff and we drove home. 1 hour and 30 minutes later, we are getting out of the car and my fiance can't find her purse. She thought I grabbed it and I had no idea she brought it inside the house. Normally, this wouldn't be an issue as although it sucks, we could go back whenever we want to grab it. Unfortunately, my fiance had just revealed for my 30th Christmas birthday that she has a surprise trip to Las Vegas planned. Her purse has all her credit cards, driver's license, and meds in it, so it was essential to have it. We had already left the party early because we had to wake up at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow to catch the flight. We arrived home at 8 p.m. and still had to pack. Now we needed to drive back to my aunt's house an hour and a half each way. What the fuck? Fiance still had to wash her hair too. I convinced my fiance to stay home and wash her hair while I drove back to get it. Luckily, another family member of mine brought her purse home with them and saved me about 30 minutes each way of the drive. I got home at 9:45, packed, and fell asleep at 11 a.m. Wake up
11 p.m.
and sleep at 11 p.m. Wake up at 4:15 a.m. Wrote this as we were at the airport waiting for our flight.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I am embarrassed.
This year we're at Christmas and Teresa was like, I'm leaving my purse in the car.
I left it in the car. Your aunt made a comment at Thanksgiving. She was like, Teresa, do you have your purse?
Yeah.
I was like,
so when I saw her at Christmas, I was like, hey, don't worry. Teresa left her purse in the car.
yep. All the comments, I think that one blew up because all the comments were like, dude, it's not your fault. It's her fault. It's her purse. And you were like, it's not an Am I the Asshole story.
Yep. It's a Today I
We
Fucked
weren't
Up.
asking for who's wrong. It was Today I Fucked Up. Okay, guys?
Yeah.
I did kind of blame you, though. And it was my
You
responsibility.
did blame me because you're like, I don't understand how it was my fault.
Because you were like, okay, I have everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, everything includes everything.
Well, and everything in my mind.
I didn't double check.
Didn't include your purse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. It's okay.
It's all good. All good. All right. I'm going to do one more question and we'll push the rest to the next episode because we don't want the Q&A going too long because
We also have life updates.
We have life updates. So we'll just do one more. This one's from Ariana Senadum.
Why are you attempting to read the usernames, bro?
I'm sorry. Hey guys, I recently found your podcast and it's one of my faves.
Aww.
I'm also from Mauritius, which looks beautiful.
We just Googled it. It's gorgeous.
Yep. And personally, warm Christmas is the best. Maybe you guys should try it. Also, the island is heavenly over here. Unfortunately, we don't get snow here. Also, I have a question. I know that Teresa doesn't want to have kids, but does Denver? I guess that's a question for me.
Yes, it is.
Like sometimes I think like kids could be nice. Like when we're babysitting Andrew, and like we kind of both felt this way of like like Andrew gave us baby fever.
There are moments.
A little while ago. Yeah, there's moments. But then I think about the cost. One, first off, we're not living our freaking dream life money wise over here, right? We're not going on vacations all the time. I don't have a BMW M3. I don't have all the things that I want for money wise. So then adding kids onto that just means that I get less of stuff that I don't already have.
Yeah.
Whenever I see kids who are screaming, throwing fits in places, I'm just like, that doesn't look fun. So some parts I'm like, when I get to like our parents' age, I'm like, oh, having the family could be nice, but babies don't seem fun. Kids under 4 don't seem fun. Teenagers
Kids
don't
over
seem
4
fun.
don't seem
Yeah, there's like if you put out the chart of like the positivities and the negatives, the pros and the cons seem to be outweighing the pros. So like some part of me is like, it's not the worst thing ever. It seems kind of nice, but there is still a very large overwhelmingness of like, you're giving up a lot.
Yeah.
You are giving up a lot to have kids.
There's many reasons for me. And I know she's asking about you, but can I say my stuff?
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I feel like for me, I am very selfish with my time, my money, my sleep.
Sleep. Ooh,
Sleep is honestly a big one for me.
That's
and,
a big
like,
one.
All joking aside, like yes, I get cranky and stuff and I don't sleep, but like I feel like I would resent a child if they were keeping me up at night, if I can't fall asleep. I honestly, like if I don't get sleep, it really affects me. And like that is like a really big thing for me. Like time as well. Like I feel like I like my me time. I like rotting, doing nothing. I like waking up at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Like with a baby, a child, anything, like you can't really do that. Like my parents never woke up past 8 o'clock, like ever. So like, I just feel like there's so many things. And also like, I just don't think I would be a good mom. And I
disagree with that. I think you would be.
Okay. I know a lot of people in the comments are gonna be like, yeah, you would be a great mom. But honestly, I'm just being realistic and self-aware with my toxic traits that I have.
That's funny because I feel like my toxic trait is that I think I would be an amazing parent.
And I think I wouldn't. I honestly think I would be toxic towards my kid and just be resentful. And I feel like I don't want to like wager on that and just like be like, okay, let's see how it is, because I can't take it back after.
No, it's not like it's something that is a very permanent decision.
Exactly.
And we've talked about it like right now, like this is, and we have acknowledged like that's right now, this is how we feel, but we don't know what we'll feel in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And we have said like, hey, 15, 20 years, you know, if we kind of like regret our decision, like we wouldn't mind adopting in the future, like helping someone out like that, a child out that is in need or something. And like, maybe in 5 years, who knows what our mindset will be like. Like there's a chance that we might change our mind. Like we're not like, we are 100% never having kids forever and ever and ever. We're like, it's 98% we most likely won't, but who knows what will change in the future.
I'm not going to say never.
Yeah.
But that's how we feel at this moment.
Exactly. There's just right now in our life, there's a lot more cons than there are pros for it. Andrew is definitely weighing on creating a couple percentage points on maybe it won't be so bad. Madison's trying to be convincing to get Andrew some cousins and stuff. And the more we hang out with Andrew, I'm like, it's not so bad. You know, we babysitted him the other day and we didn't have to change a poopy diaper. So that was nice. But then there's the realization when you have an actual baby, like it's a lot. I would say for your sleep thing, I think I could handle like 90%. Like I'm very getting up in the middle of the night, no big deal. Like I could handle that.
I wouldn't sleep through it though. I would not sleep through it.
We could, yeah. Yeah, I don't exactly, right? So Teresa, but you're also like, you never used to be so sleep sensitive. Like when we first started dating and stuff, you weren't this cranky around your sleep. Like you've been like when we lived at Cats, you weren't that cranky around your sleep. I remember.
I don't remember.
So you used to wake up around midnights and stuff. Like sometimes I would wake you up, and I remember you didn't used to be so sleep cranky. It's only been more lately, so that could be a phase for you. Who knows?
Maybe.
Doubt it, but who knows? So yeah, that's how we feel at this current moment in time. Never say never, but strong possibility.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Life updates.
Life updates.
Teresa got this Taylor Swift sweater for Christmas.
Thank you, Mom.
Yep.
And Dad and sister.
Teresa's family did good for me. I got some Fox t-shirts. That was great.
And a Lego.
I got a Lego cat. Guys, we're going to have a new addition. The cats aren't going to use this spot, although I'll probably put it on this table. They got me a Lego tuxedo cat that I'll be able to put together while I'm editing, and then it will just rest here. So I'm thinking as I build it, I'm going to put it here in blocks. You'll slowly start to see it build up. But I've got a long list before I actually get to that because it's 2025. So we're going into house building season. We're about to transfer the house into our name. I got to finalize all the house plans. I got to finalize all of that. We're going to have to do our mortgage application, figure out if we're giving our 60 days notice on our apartment, find an RV. I got to do the taxes. Does anybody else get excited to do their taxes? Like I'm excited to fill in my tax information for 2024 and like get that out of the way. I got a ski vlog from Mont Tremblant. We went to Mont Tremblant. That was amazing. My back has been hurting ever since we got back. Teresa was scared a little bit during the Mont Tremblant trip. The food was crazy expensive.
Yep. We
spent like $800. The one dinner was like $250. And then at the very last night, we went to the Shock. And that was the freaking best place to eat there. If you go into Mont Tremblant, don't worry about all the other restaurants. Just go to the Shack and you can get different meals 3 nights in a row. Reasonable pricing, and their mac and cheese with pulled pork on top reminded me of Bobby Sue's in Toronto. If you guys have heard before, I've said Bobby Sue's is the best mac and cheese I've ever had. This was like, I'd have to eat them back to back to know which one was better because they were both amazing. I think this Bobby Sue's is still slightly better, but this one was like, it was on point and I was very happy with it. So I wish we could have went there more nights, but we didn't discover it until the very last night.
Yeah.
And we went to the casino on the one night, won like $150, had some fun.
Yep.
The ski hills was great. Took you 10 minutes to go up in the top and it took me about 20 minutes to come down by myself. When Teresa and I were going, it took us about 45 minutes. And Teresa exited early a little bit.
Yeah, it was fun. The skiing part, I guess I was like nervous.
Yeah.
I've never been on a mountain like that before.
It was beautiful at the top though.
It was beautiful, but it was intimidating and I psyched myself out a lot. I was like, I only stuck to the greens, but like there were some steep parts of the greens and then my legs were just like wobbly, shaking. Like I'm not good. I'm not that good at skiing. So, yeah, I just kind of like got in my head a lot and it was fun though.
You do get in your head a lot because you used to like be able to go down the runs a little bit faster and be more enjoyable, but now
like I'm getting worse.
You're getting a little bit scared and timid and you're going slower.
Yeah, I'm getting worse.
And I'm behind you. And at first I thought it was like harder for me to go slower. So then Teresa stayed in the chalet and I went down to run and I was like, fuck, I had to take breaks myself. I was exhausted, but this was the second day. My legs were really hurting and stuff.
The second day was definitely worse than the first.
Yeah.
The first, I feel like I did fairly
You did the whole day. The first day you did the whole day and you left. I got one run in after you and then the lift was closed anyway. So you only missed one run the first day.
Yeah.
And I attempted to go down a blue at the end of the day and I was like, sucks. I'm just going to the greens. And then even the greens were hard. So yeah.
But yeah, good experience overall. Definitely better than like the local ski resorts around
so
Toronto.
much better.
Yeah.
We're going to Vermont next year.
We'll see.
I want to do a ski trip every year now, but we'll have to see because we got a lot planned this year. We got a whole house build.
Yeah, we're probably
the whole wedding thing. Do you know what's coming up next though? Supercross. Supercross starts next Saturday, 1 week's time, and then we have the Detroit one in February, right on Valentine's Day. Teresa booked our whatever we're doing for Valentine's Day. Teresa figured that out yesterday.
Yep, we rotate every year Valentine's Day. Who's in charge of the date?
Mm-hmm. It's Teresa's year this year.
Yep. And then after Mont Tremblant, we had Christmas. We had 3 Christmases. We had Christmas Eve at my parents', and we slept over because it's also my mom's birthday on Christmas Day, shared with Denver.
Birthday twins.
Birthday twins on Christmas Day. And then we had brunch and stuff, opened up gifts. And then we went to Madison's. Well, Madison's in-laws.
Madison had some plumbing issues last night. We were supposed to go to Madison's house.
Yeah. They had some flooding issues, so we went to the in-laws. Saw baby Andrew, of course. And then Christmas Day, Boxing Day was your family's Christmas, which was really nice. We had a great variety of food amongst the 3 days, and it was great. 27th, we did.
Whoa! Don't go past Boxing Day. There's so much more on Boxing Day.
What?
I made a ham this year.
Okay.
That was epic.
Yep.
And then we saw some cows and some horses and some baby goats.
They were adorable.
At my aunt's house.
Yeah.
That was cute.
They were cute.
They were cute. Yeah.
Is that all?
Then I made a ham. Normally everybody's like, oh, Denver, good job on the rice. Great job on the rice. But this year I brought the rice and a giant ass ham. And when we were driving back from Mont Tremblant, we had to do like our shopping on the way. It took us like 10 hours to get home. We had so many stops. Teresa was calling me out for why I was so obsessed for finding this ham. And I was like, can we stop before we get the Walmart, before we get to Toronto, and make sure that they have the ham? We're in Coburg, wherever the hell that was. And I found this giant ham that was like 60 pounds. And
it was not 60 pounds. It was $60.
25 pounds or something. It was a big
60 pounds.
It was a big hunkin' ham.
We would have been able to carry it if it was 60 pounds.
So, and then I made it. And then I threw it the glaze.
Oh, yeah.
So Teresa had to save me with making a glaze.
Yep. I told him the ham
was my responsibility.
You're a cross to bear. You're a cross to bear. You're a cross to bear. You wanted it. You texted your aunt. You were like, is anybody making a ham? I'll make a ham. I'll make a ham. Not knowing how to make a ham.
It's my favorite part. And normally we are at your mom's for Christmas dinner. And she makes me the most delicious ham.
Yes.
But we weren't going to be there.
Yeah.
And then normally Liz will make a ham for Boxing Day.
Yeah.
But Liz couldn't be there.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure I got myself a ham. And everybody loved it. And I even cut it myself.
Yep. You did do a great job.
I was big boy.
Big boy Denver.
Yeah.
But I made the glaze.
Thank you for saving me.
I saved it.
I put the thing in the oven and then I threw the wrapping in the garbage and I threw the garbage down the trash chute. We talked about on a previous episode, pros and cons of a condo. Con, when you throw something in the garbage and you throw it down the trash, it's gone. You can't go through your own garbage. And I did go through our garbage. My hands got gross with like tomatoes or something. And then I realized that this was not I had already emptied our kitchen garbage and it was gone. I had washed my hands for no reason.
Yep.
But yes, so that was exciting. So then what do we do on the 27th?
Nothing. We watched Squid Games.
Squid Games has been completed. Great. We completed Squid Games.
We watched a lot of TV.
We watched a lot of TV since we last updated. Squid Games we've watched. We were on Beast Games episode 4 or whatever. It's kind of
honestly,
shit.
Shit show.
It's kind of shit show.
Don't recommend.
We're on, what are we on right now?
No Good Deed.
No Good Deed. We're a couple episodes into that. It's pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm
excited. I feel like we finished a couple. What did we finish before Squid Games?
What were we watching before Squid Games? Was it on Prime?
What's our Netflix history?
Oh, it was Ted Lasso.
Oh, yeah. Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
We were 3 seasons, so we were watching that as we talked about it. So we finished Ted Lasso, and then we went into Squid Games, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. And then 28th was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
We just went to my family's, played a lot of games. 29th, we...
Rotted.
No, we went to Madison's. We went to Cats.
Oh, we went to Cats because Madison was staying at Cats.
Cat
Cats gone to Brazil. And they're plumbing, so they decided to stay.
And you guys did a puzzle.
We did a puzzle,
8 hours.
1,000-piece puzzle for 8 hours, and Teresa got all of the Andrew time.
Yep. Denver didn't even care about Andrew, guys. He was like, I don't even want to eat dinner with Andrew. I don't want to watch Andrew bath time because I want to finish this puzzle.
I watched Andrew bath time.
You didn't want to. You said no at first.
I did. I get obsessed with finishing things. The puzzle, we did it.
Yep.
Madison let me do the last piece. So nice of her.
And then, what did we do? Oh, the 30th, we went to the States. We went to Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
We did a Trader Joe's haul.
You did.
If you follow us on Denver and Teresa, you would have seen that. We
went to Applebee's.
A lot of,
We regretted Applebee's. Applebee's was shit. Should have got Panera Bread.
Yeah. It was, but the Trader Joe's haul was great.
We did get a lot of good stuff from Trader Joe's.
Yep. And then it was New Year's Eve. We did nothing.
We
watched Wicked.
We watched
I watched
Wicked.
Wicked.
You watched Wicked, and I played a little bit on my Game Boy beside you.
Yeah, I really loved Wicked. Wicked was really good. I never watched like the play, the musical before. Like I was going into it blind. I knew some of the songs from school because I went to an art school. So we had to like sing some of the songs. But I didn't know the storyline. I didn't know. Like, I knew it was in like the Wizard of Oz universe, but I went into it blind, and it was really, really, really good. I really liked it. We bought it.
I liked it. I overall liked it. I didn't fully watch it, but I liked how the beginning was at the end of Wizard of Oz, but then the whole rest of it was like a prequel to the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the bits of magic outside of the singing were good.
Yeah. The only reason Denver doesn't like it is because you don't like musicals.
I don't like musicals. I can't. When they start singing, I can't get it. I watched the first bit.
Yeah.
And then, and then I turned my Game Boy on.
Yeah.
But I sat beside you.
Yeah. And then on New Year's Day, we watched Andrew. We babysat Andrew for a few hours.
We got our first unsupervised. Oh my God, guys. If you don't watch the Denver and Teresa Instagram
you missed
account,
out.
You missed out because we had Andrew vacuuming. We had him playing video games. We had him drinking coffee, watching dirt bikes, working. He edited a little bit of the podcast for me. He made his own solo podcast. We had him working when he was here. Yep. It was great.
Yeah, you guys should follow us on Denver and Teresa Instagram account. It's literally Denver and Teresa.
We should make like a little archive button for Andrew.
We should.
We should.
Okay, let's do that after this.
I'll let you do that. Andrew time.
Yeah. And yeah, we had our first unsupervised supervising of Andrew.
We were the supervisors.
Because Madison and Chris were not here to supervise us supervising their baby.
Exactly. We wouldn't play tennis.
And it went well. We put him to nap. We put him to sleep
successfully.
It was great. He's so cute, so adorable.
Little freaking precious bean. See, this is the thing though. Like, if we did decide to have kids in the hypothetical future, that probably won't happen. If we did, and they didn't turn out to be as cute as Andrew, we would just instantly resent them.
Yep.
We'd be like, "This is not what we signed up for, bro. You're ugly."
Okay.
We signed up for an Andrew 2.0.
Okay. That's why we can't have kids,
We signed up for an Andrew.
Okay. Anyways, now I'm back at work. I'm depressed.
I'm back at work too.
Fucking eye roll. I'm back at work.
I have a lot of work to do. Thank you very much. I'm busy over here.
Yep.
I have a to-do list.
Madison got me this cute to-do list. It's like a to-do list, but it's Taylor Swift. It's very cute.
My little sticky notes were getting overwhelmed, so I needed a bigger piece. So I took a to-do list.
Yeah. And that's all.
That's all, folks.
That's a lot, but
that's a lot.
Sorry, we really rambled on for a half an hour there.
40 minutes of Q&A and life updates.
Jeez. Thank you all for supporting. If you've listened this far, thank you.
Thank you.
You're a real one.
We'll see you guys next Tuesday or on Friday if you guys join us on Patreon.
Yep.
And yeah.
Have a great week.
We had a lot of questions, so let us know down in the comments below what your answers are to them.
Bring on the questions if you have more questions. If this sparked any questions inside of you, let us know. Put them in on YouTube, on Spotify in the comments. Yeah, let us know.
Thank you. And buonanotte.
Bye. I left with Peter, and we haven't talked to them since. So am I the asshole?
Can you do that last line?
I left with Peter and we haven't talked to them since. So
talking?
I don't know why I said that.
You said it twice. I'm so confused. I'm like, talk didn't sound right that first time. Can you just do that one more time, please? And then you just talking. like talking without the G.
Talking. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know.
I left with Peter and we haven't talked to them. I said it right. I just couldn't keep it in. I'm sorry. Okay, shh.
What?
Just watched you.
Yeah, I had to breathe out, but I didn't want to make a sound. So I'm like... like you. I didn't want to interrupt your speaking with my. So I was like, oh.
Okay. I left with Peter and we haven't talked to them. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I feel like I want to put this at the end of the episode.
Do it. Okay.